What is up, guys? Not sure if anybody be on here today, like usual, never sure, but figured I would jump on here anyway, so I'm gonna just tinker around and do some work while I'm talking to you guys and see how it goes here, I guess. So, all right. This is the worst part I hate about getting cars that have like striping and stuff on them. It's always a pain to take off, and it's just always an ordeal. I saw this and I was like, man, I do not want to do this. But what's option B? It's pretty hard to find a car that doesn't have the striping on it these days. It's freaking, like, especially these older cars. You'd think after being in the sun for so many years that it would come off easy, but it always like leaves the glue, which is exactly what's happening. And then when you try to sand it, it gums up the pads. Maybe somebody has a better solution. There's always smarter people than me in my chats. I'm trying to just save another one, guys. Another day, another car. So we'll see. I haven't done one of these cars on my channel yet. We'll see how the views go. I know these are really popular cars. Second gens are really hot right now. I mean, just in general, they have been forever. But what's going on, guys? Welcome in. So I'm just screwing around here a little bit. I'm trying to figure while I'm just doing some of this tedious stuff that nobody cares about. I'll jump on here and do a little bit of a live. I try to do as many lives as I can when I'm home, and I try to do it when I'm doing the things that people don't really care to watch on video, so I can just BS with you guys a little bit. But yeah, see how it goes here. Well, it is coming off a little bit easier than usual. Maybe that glue will just sand out of there. What do you guys got going on today? All right. It's easier that way. What do you guys got going on? Welcome in, guys. Just kind of prepping this thing because it's going to get painted, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a color I've been terrified to try for a long time, but I'm going to do it anyways because I got to learn at some point, I guess. So do the giveaway here, but what's up, Spud? How's it going, man? I see you in my comments all the time, but I haven't seen you in a chat for a while. Good to see you again. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I'm just tinkering around here. Have you seen this car yet, Spud? I'm not sure if you were here for the last live. I don't think you've been in my lives for a while. I was doing lives every day for a long time there, and then it's just as depending if I'm home or not. Sometimes I'm home a little bit more than other times, and it really just depends. It's been kind of brutal with these fuel prices and stuff the way they are. It kind of makes it more difficult even to run around. Like when I picked up this car there, came from North Carolina, it was like $1,500 in fuel just to go get this thing. Probably more than that, honestly, because I screwed around for a day or two there. Welcome in, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe and check out all the videos. I have not seen that. Keep missing lives. I usually, this one's a little bit earlier. I usually do it about 3 or 4 hours later, about 3 hours later than right now normally, because it seems like that's my really busy time, but sometimes I just can't always make it work. So if I have a little bit of free time, I'm just jumping in now. So I get people from all these different countries and stuff, so that definitely makes it a little bit more variety too for times and stuff like that. So, which is kind of cool. What's up, Phil? How's it going, man? What you guys got going on today? You guys ever taken all the striping off of cars before? It's like, I like how the striping looks. I would never put it back on for the reason of, oh, good, I thought this was still on here. You can see where it was on, but actually the sun actually knocked it off, thankfully. I'm surprised. That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, why is all this stuff still on here? I can't believe after the sun has beaten that paint off that the striping is still on, but I guess it took it off of all of this and everything, so that's good, I guess. But yeah, where in North Carolina was it? I picked it up in, oh man, where was it now? It was like a couple hours east of Charlotte, I think is where I was. Somewhere smaller town. I forget off the top of my head here now. I was so many places that trip. I was actually I was actually going to get a machine for finishing up my shop pad here, and it was a train wreck. The guy totally lied about everything, so I was over there anyways, and then I was like, all right, well, now what? So then I went and looked at another machine, and that guy didn't tell me things like, I don't know, before I drove back another 3 hours in the other direction, that you had to start it with starting fluid. So there was that. And what else? What's my plans for this car? So this is kind of a little bit of a nicer car for me to do because the body is actually really straight on it. So I'm going to paint it for sure. The interior is not too bad. It's not perfect by any means for sure. So it was owned by a younger guy, and he just drove it like into the ground, and which is whatever. I'm not gonna knock it because I did the same thing when I was that age with the exact same car almost. But so it got pretty not taken care of, I suppose, if you want to call it that, and the exhaust got ripped off of it, so it needs that kind of dealt with. It does run and drive actually. It doesn't run the greatest, but it's not the worst. It's just got a whole bunch of little problems like this. The ignition switch is, well, it's there, but the rod for it is all gone. So you got to like manually start it. And no, I paint them myself, Phil. Yeah, everything on this channel I paint myself there. I'm not saying I'm some professional here by any means or whatever, but I always try different things, and I've done different ways. If you guys are new to the channel and you haven't seen all my videos and stuff, I typically do like budget builds. So I do things that are trying to be relatable to the average guy, because most people aren't buying a car like this and spending, 100 grand or whatever restoring it. That's just not for the average person. People just want it to kind of like look better, run and drive half decent and stuff. And so that's kind of what I focus on, if that sort of makes sense. And so like when I did that last square body video where I painted it there, I wanted to just see, because everybody was like, hey, you can, well, not everybody, a handful of people were like, you can do it with spray paint, you can do it with engine paint, you can do it with, you can paint it in your driveway, or you can, whatever, all this stuff. And I was like, man, I knew that truck wasn't going to be perfect. So I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity to test that. And let's just see, if you don't have an air compressor and you don't have like, all the tools, like let's say to really maybe like do it perfectly or whatever, because it takes a lot to actually paint a car properly. You got to think you need like a lot of like real tools if you're going to start welding in panels and all that kind of stuff. So that truck was so bad, I was like, well, let's just see. So I put Bondo in the bed. It had 2 new fenders, 2 used doors. I put floor pans in it, carpet, seats, and then I rattle can painted it in the driveway. And I tried 2 different types of rattle can paint, and I put proper clear coat and stuff on it. It made no sense to do it that way, but I literally did it all in the driveway, and I did it just to see, hey, can you do this in your driveway? Like I said, if you don't have an air compressor, you don't necessarily have all the right tools to do all this stuff, can you do it? So, but I have an inflatable paint booth. I have like a really good 3M PPS spray gun there. It works unreal. I mean, it lays like glass and you spray it down, stuff like that. So I usually use Summit Racing paint. That's kind of my typical go-to single stage, which is what all these cars were back in the day anyways, or vehicle. Most of the vehicles that I'm doing, that's all it was like, it was basically single stage back in the day anyway, so it's not like it's going to make it any worse. And honestly, when I use that, it works really good. There's some downsides if you go back and watch that inflatable paint booth video there. What's up, Busted? Long time no see, man. I think we've both been crazy because I haven't seen you and you haven't seen me in a while. It's been pretty hectic on my end of the world here. So, but the spray booth has some downfalls for sure, like leaving it outside. I didn't have it on concrete, so it was like sucking in dirt, like sitting overnight. It didn't suck in dirt really into the paint or anything like that, but, and then it's also like when it's hot outside, you're like just dying inside there because it's just cooking, plus the sun comes through at weird angles, so it's like, it's actually like hard to see when you're painting. So it's not the best case scenario for the inflatable boost is if you have it set up inside a shop. That's like the best case scenario. I also had an issue where I was running the air compressor and I didn't realize all the breakers were on the same plug here, and I was inside painting and the compressor turned on while those 2 blowers were blowing, and it actually dropped while I was inside there, and I caught it. And good thing I had enough sense to like grab my phone and call my wife so she could come and turn the breaker back on. But yeah, it was could have been bad. So there's just like I said, a lot of little downfalls to it or whatever. But yeah, I don't know how all these badges come off. Oop. Is this just glued on or what? Huh. That'd be amazing if that stayed on there for the last 30 some years, just with that little bit of adhesive that's on it there. Ooh. Ooh, I don't want to wreck these badges because I kind of like them. Probably put those back on. Found me a killer car the other day, complete 57 two-door, $2,500. It ran the way I said you were out of town picking up a car. Nice. Where was that at? That's a pretty good deal. Especially if it ran and drove too. That's crazy. Practice makes perfect. Learn all the tricks as you go. Yeah. I mean, the way I look at it is it's not like I'm not doing things that couldn't be undone. If you wanted to, I guess that's kind of like the way I looked at it too. Like for example, when I did that K10 build, I told people that before I even did it. I was like, hey man, like I put 2 new doors, 2 used fenders, and it needs a bed. It really needed a bed. That was the right thing to do. But I wasn't going to spend like $3 grand on a bed for it. So I was like, if the next guy wants to repaint this thing or just do it with the same color and change the bed or whatever, it's easy to do that. It's no big deal at all. So it's not like I'm doing things that are making it like, ooh, you can't ever fix this, or you're making it like for the next guy it's going to be a pain or whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's not, you know what I'm saying? So if somebody bought this car and it was in single stage paint already, they're going to have to do the same thing if they want to change it to something else. All right. That's crazy. That stayed on there that long, just glued on like that. That's funny. It wouldn't rust back there being kind of loose like that. Interesting. All right. Well, what do you guys think of these Berlinetta cars with like the, if you guys are familiar with the Berlinettas there, it was in Missouri. Huh. Been busy remodeling my shop. Haven't been on here a ton. No, I actually haven't either, Busted. I was on almost every day for 2 weeks, and then the last like 2 weeks I only came on like once. This is my second live in like 2 weeks. I've been just crazy running around and trying to just live and eat and survive. You know how it goes. Man, every time I think I'm getting ahead on something, some other catastrophe happens. It just seems to be the story of my life here lately. So I was really hoping I would have my garage concrete poured this month, or well, last month actually. I was supposed to have it poured, but just not been panning out. Sometimes life kind of takes over, so it is what it is. In my defense, I should have, I mean, we were gone for a good chunk of the winter, so that didn't really help either to kind of get things ready to go. But it's just, man, everything's getting so expensive right now, and I'm trying to be careful that I don't like putting myself in positions where I'm going to be too tight on money. As he demonstrated, happiness, do what you love. Nice. Got to head out there, Spud. All right, thanks for stopping by, Spud. I don't see you on here very often, so it was good to see you again. Yeah, Busted. I haven't been on that much either, so don't feel bad. Just try to. It's always like the balancing act of trying to do a little bit of everything. Looks like it might have. Hopefully it's not rust. But yeah. So yeah, being a Berlinetta car, this car doesn't have a rear spoiler on it, or at least that's how I've always known it, is they don't come with rear spoilers, because every one I've ever seen didn't. And yeah, so I literally went to look for a machine so I could work on my shop, and then I looked at like 4 in a row there, and pretty much everybody lied about it. Like when you put it in machine in gear and it won't even move like up a driveway. Yeah, there's probably something wrong with it that they're hiding. What a surprise. Wouldn't make a guy drive 15 hours for that if it was me, but apparently it's a bunch of young guys trying to sell things and flip them or whatever, like thinking that they're gonna just get some dummy. And so then the second I leave his house, he blocks me. The shop is taking all my time right now, filming every day, but yeah, I get that, man. I mean, it's just like, I was like, maybe I should just buy like a little storage unit or something like that, like a little shed or whatever, just to get some of this stuff out of this garage. And now it's starting to get hot, so it's like kind of being uncomfortable in here now. Like this is the first day it's really been hot in here. It's like I have a portable AC, but then it takes up floor space, and I don't know. I just like it never ends, right? It's like the door doesn't seal very good, so then there's that problem. And I have all this junk in here, and it's like really this needs to get out of here. I have a bunch of engines and transmissions that should be like in a little storage unit or something, but like always, it's just like things that just end up taking up a bunch of space in the garage, and I'm not really supposed to be even using this for like a shop and stuff, but at the same time, kind of whatever. What's up, Roger? How's it going, man? So yeah, but I've actually been keeping up pretty decent on my videos, though. I did that, well, I had the extra one in there because of the hail damage, and then I did, we got my son's truck video out there. I knew those videos weren't going to do as well just because I can tell when I put a video out whether or not it's going to be something that exciting. People prefer to see like more of like, they like the builds, but they like to see the after of the builds, and sometimes it's hard for me to get it all together like that. So it's I'm trying to work a little bit more on that to try to get it into like a better, I guess, better space so that it kind of, if you notice that at the end of all my videos now, I'm trying to drive the vehicles if possible. So there's that, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, man, constantly learning and trying to figure out. One video you'll have 100,000 views, you know, or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, the next one's like, oh, I only had like 20,000 views or 10,000 views, and you're trying to figure out why. I mean, most of the time I know why these days, but you can't always make #1 videos, I guess. And I did notice, like, even with friends that are like bigger YouTubers and stuff like that, is once you have like a pretty good video, it seems to dump you down for a little bit again. So I was kind of expecting that. What year do I have? This is 79 actually. So it's a Berlinetta, being, like I said, it's actually a V8 car, which is cool, but it's not bad. Like I said, it was owned by a kid, and he just drove this thing into the ground, but it's okay. It's nothing that can't be saved. Like, to be honest, when I got there, I thought it wasn't going to be running and driving because it's been off the road for years. And the guy got it running, but I think he tried to move it. It was sitting in a hole. I think the transmission was low on fluid, and he was just giving her. So I'm hoping it didn't hurt the transmission because it seems like it's lazy going into gear now. I ended up having to put about 3 quarts in it, and it would still like barely move. So yeah, not good. And it was stuck before I got there, and he drove it out. So I wish he would have just. I mean, it was nice of him to help get it out. I'm not complaining about that, but it would should have put transmission fluid in it if it was low. And the power steering was almost out and all that stuff. So, but this is a pretty solid car, actually. Like I said, a V8 car, you know, I always tell people this is a way better starting platform if you're going to make any power, because they have an 8.5-inch 10 bolt. There's guys running 9s with these stock 10 bolts in them. I think this one probably has a posi in it. Most of them do. I don't know. It's got like 14-inch wheels and stuff. So it's like, meh, but not too bad anyways. Yeah. But the body's like fairly, I mean, honestly, it's almost rust free, which is crazy. Needs exhaust, the tune up, paint job. There's a bunch of little things, like I said, this freaking rod to the ignition there, whatever. What's up, Cruel? Long time no see. This is a Camaro there. Yep. What'd you say? Mines. I gave one away to a father-son months ago. Fun cars. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't pay too much for it, but similar body shape, yeah. So I actually have another car that I had bought that I haven't really showed on the channel yet at all here, that'll be coming out after. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I actually got some really good deals the other day, busted by fluke. I just it was a weird thing anyways. I guess they were stocking up like all their excess parts and stuff at Summit Racing the other day for the long weekend. And I totally even spaced it. I thought everybody would be gone, being a long weekend. I thought people would be like camping and stuff. So I went there and it was a zoo. But I ended up finding like a whole bunch of the 56 Bel Air parts, which is like really unusual for like all clearance stuff or whatever. So people either like returned items or else like just display stuff or whatever it was, right? So I found some disc brake, full disc brake kit there. I found What else did I find? A windshield, which was like, those are the two things that I was actually procrastinating getting working on that car about, because it's like a massive expense. Like the windows and those things are like $700 for the windshield. And so I got a really good deal on that. And then the front disc brake kit there, I only paid 140 bucks for it, which was crazy. So that was worth it. What's up, Hurt? I know, that's what I thought too. Like, what are the chances of that? Like, it's such an oddball. I mean, the fact that they had it was cool, but you know, it wouldn't really sell normally because like not very fast like other parts. Like if you got a square body parts, they're going to sell really fast because everybody's building square bodies and stuff. But no, it's not like a ton of people are building a 56 Bel Air, so I guess that's probably why it was still there. But yeah, I mean, that was a fluke. I was actually like, I found the disc brake kit. I actually went in there looking for the brakes. I was like, man, maybe I'll get lucky and find brakes, and I found them. And then I was actually getting ready to leave, and I was like, man, I should just look through the glass section and see if there's any windows. And there was only one window there actually, and it was for that car, which is hilarious. What's up? I did have a decent weekend. Been super busy though. Been super busy. Yeah, it was a pretty decent deal there, Opal. So yeah, just man, every time, you guys know me, like I'm always trying to find budget stuff for my channel here or whatever, and that was like a fluke, like I said, to find 56, well, that's a 210, but Bel Air parts or whatever that were actually a decent deal. That was crazy. I only paid 150 for the windshield. That was another like, wow. So that's going to help moving that build along. So now I have floor pans. I got floor pans for that car. What else did I get for that car? I got floor pans and, man, I don't even remember. I know the one big thing that I'm kind of procrastinating on it too. I need to order a rear tail pan for it, because it's like kind of a problem on that car, and I don't know, because it has shape to it, how aftermarket parts will fit and stuff. And I am a little bit scared to kind of mess around with it, if I'm being totally honest, because it's just one of those things where it's like, if it doesn't fit perfectly, it's going to be hard to get in there. Oh, sorry guys. Let me see here. Steering wheel's on the wrong side. Not quite. I know mine's grammatically incorrect. You need to, what did I miss here? You got to sell that car, let me know. Which one? The 56? Yeah, I will sell it. I don't know, I probably will. I said before I wouldn't, because I kind of want to keep it, but I got to be realistic and move things along here, so I'm not sure. Not sure if it went through, but if you sell the Berlinetta, I will sell this car for sure. Yeah, this is actually, if I'm being totally honest, this car is so solid, I really don't want to sell it. And I actually I like Firebirds and stuff. So yeah, anyways, I always have stories to go with this stuff, but I actually was trying to buy a 76 Firebird, because if you guys remember in my early videos, if you were here for my early videos, my intro had a 76 Firebird, and it's actually a car that that was a car I had as a teenager, was a 76 Firebird. So I was like, oh man, it'd be fun to build one of those again for fun. So I actually went to Vegas to look at one of those cars and ended up coming back with something else. So, but that'll be, that one's probably, this car I actually think is more solid, to be honest, but I don't know. This should be a fairly easy painter anyways. I like these things though, they're cool. But yeah, I mean, clean title car. Guy had it for 10 years. Like I said, it sat for 4. It does run half decent. It just needs a bunch of little stuff. Man, I hate getting the stupid striping off cars. Man. Yeah, it's the same platform. Body looks clean. It does. Yeah. This thing is like straight too. It's like, most of the time, you guys know how these cars get from people just swinging the doors open, being so long like this, and these center pieces and stuff, they just get hammered usually, or other people opening it into this V, and this car is straight, so. Uh-oh, here comes idiots. Chick magnet car. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I could do a walk around for you there, Busted. Like I said, it's pretty solid. Let me get the hood open for you there so I can actually fully show you. It's like, you guys ever open the hoods on these cars or whatever? It's like kind of a pain. Kind of a pain to reach it. Let me see if I can grab it. I'll actually show you. I won't be able to see much, but so I don't know if you were here the other day, Busted, but this car is a factory AC car. So it's got air tilt cruise, factory air conditioning. I don't know, like I said, the interior is a pretty decent other than the center console. Let me show you, I'll take you off the stand here. I'll actually give you guys a once over. So this is probably the worst part of it, is that. And then the dash has a few cracks you can see, which is, I thought it would be a lot worse actually, but you can see like the passenger seat's pretty decent. Hard to see probably here. But the rear seats are half decent in it. Not too bad. I'll take the key out and show you guys the trunk here. So I can show you. The driver's door handle is broken here. I gotta like open it up like that. But yeah, Berlinetta steering wheel still, like I said, factory AC. You can see there's a little bit of kind of like it's rubbed through, I think, down by the feet there. It's hard to see for sure, but door panels are actually like half decent and stuff on it. But yeah, like I said, the body, like it's probably hard to tell, but I mean, at least in the condition that it's in right now, it seems relatively straight actually. So the hood is like straight. It's not all kinked up and bent. Like I said, factory AC. The only spot that I really saw is on the fiberglass front bumper here. It looks like, I don't really know exactly what happened there, but it looks like it kind of got hot at one point there or something got spilled on it. I don't know. It looks like it actually had Bondo in it at one time already. Maybe got cracked, something happened. But same thing though, like it doesn't even have dings or dents or anything. And I'm sure once you sand it down, you're gonna see a few, but it really is pretty good. I mean, for the roof to be pretty straightforward there. You have an interior for it. What color is it, Busted? Because I might need another one in the future. I'll show you even like the trunk and stuff here. Let me, if you guys are familiar with these cars here, I'll show you in the trunk here. Look how good a shape this thing's in the trunk even though, like, where do you see cars like this that the floor is still all good and everything like that, you know? Trunk light even still works. Even the underside, you know, they always catch water in here and stuff. And it's not like that, so I don't know. Overall, pretty decent. Jump back on the stand here, sorry. Oop. You have a spoiler and flares? Man, I wish you'd have told me that because I just ordered a used one for it. It was incredibly hard to find something that was affordable for it, to be totally honest. I thought finding a spoiler would be cheap, but I did order a spoiler for it. It's not perfect for sure. All right, what did I miss here? Good news. Wow. I have an interior for it. Fiber dash. Berlinetta had the rear window fins, didn't they? I don't know if they all did. I think all that stuff was an add-on. I have a spoiler and flares as well. All right. Those deck lids are usually rotted out. Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, man, to find one that's not totally trashed like that is very unusual. So I was pretty stoked about that. Said it's just, these cars in general are just getting hard to find in any kind of decent condition. So This should really be the one that I keep, but man, I can't afford it. I need a shop worse than I need a bunch of cars. So I'm just gonna keep chugging along here and stuff, and it's always something, you know. You guys know how it goes here. Everybody wants to keep their bikes in my garage now too yet. Charging up their scooters and everything else. Berlinettas actually came with the rear window slats. Interesting. So then by that logic, wouldn't the Firebird Esprits have come with them too then? You'd think it would have still been here if it was, because they're metal. They were metal back then. Everybody thought that they were plastic, but they're actually metal. So I feel like it would still be on there unless someone along the way didn't like how it looked or something like that, because they don't usually fall off, generally speaking. That is interesting though. You're kind of right though, I think how you say that. But you'd see them on like the third gens and stuff too though, like paint over it and just come back and stencil it in with a color, or take it off and have to deal with putting it back on. Wow, that is yeah, I probably should take it off. Whatever glue they used back then was pretty incredible. Ooh, hopefully they didn't. Oh, there we go. Another one off. A lot of people removed them, couldn't see out the, interesting. You're supposed to be a Mopar guy. How do you know all this stuff? Are you lusting over the Camaros? Busted. Are you a closet GM guy? You said you just had one too, so now you're making me wonder if you're even a Mopar guy here, man. Or are you like an every car guy like me? You're into everything. If you ask if this thing will do a burnout, surely it won't, because it's only a 305. So for once you would be right that it probably won't. Yeah, that's crazy. So it did get a little bit of rust underneath there. We'll need a little touch up there. Minor. It's like just barely starting, but whew, wow, it is hot in here. It's going to be the time to get the old garage AC out pretty soon here. I had that portable one, but I think I actually have one sitting up here that was connected to the house before. It's 220 volt though, and I was trying to avoid running new wires for it, but I might actually have to put that one in the window if I'm going to be doing this lots. I'm a Mopar guy. Go ahead and ask away. Add a little water. Yeah, that's true. Probably more like oil on this one. If you watch the reel I just posted, I tried to do a burnout the other day and it didn't work. Yeah, considering a younger guy owned this thing, it definitely could have been a lot worse, that's for sure. What's your favorite Mopar there, Mopar? Like I said, I'm into everything. I like whatever old cars. It don't matter to me. I'm pretty open-minded. See, the first thing that happened when I opened my marketplace there, I didn't even mean to open my marketplace, but guess what was there? A Camaro. Be easier to read if I just jump on here with you guys. Whew. All right, let me see if I can jump on here. Try to get some of this stuff off. Like I said, nobody cares about watching hours and hours and hours of peeling all the, what do you guys call it? Decals or decals? I always call them decals, but apparently that's a Canadian thing. Ooh, is that one actually going to come off in one strip? Oh, almost had it in one. Let me see here. Second one in my search is busted radio garage. Would you look at that? Let's see here. There we go. Harvesters, I'm a young guy. 48 nights. Not too much older than me then. Not too much older. There, I'll pull the camera back so you guys can actually see the whole car here or whatever. I'm just tinkering around here, so. What's going on, harvesters? Where are you guys all from? I like bodies. Got a couple Dusters, 72 small block, 4-speeds, 73 Duster drag car. I like those cars, actually. I would actually buy one of those. I think the biggest problem for me is, like, for years, like, I mean, like, literal years, and it hasn't been intentional. It's just like I didn't do YouTube before, so I wasn't just buying a million cars like I am now. And so I never, like, probably, I used to actually, I wouldn't say I was a mechanic, but I was, like, basically, like, training to be a mechanic at one time. And so I used to work in shops and stuff, and, like, you know, in the early 2000s, like, you saw a lot more of those, as funny as it sounds, but, like, there was a lot more people driving them. And so, like, a lot of older guys or whatever, or even just, like, younger guys that couldn't figure things out, they'd bring stuff in and be like, oh, you know, can you do brakes? Can you figure out the tune or whatever? Like, so I worked on those more regularly, and now it's just been so long. And I know, like, I remember Dodges. Fords were actually worse than this, to be honest, but, like, Dodges were pretty bad too for, like, changing things lots, it seemed like. But Fords were really bad for it. It was like every year something else was changed, something else was changed. And so it would just be, I guess, for me right now, just doing videos as often as I am. Not that I wouldn't buy one, because I would, but it would make it a little bit harder for trying to. New York, Phil, nice. We were in New York not too long ago. A couple months back, I guess now. Or a month ago, I guess. I'm in VA, got one for sale. I'm not sure if I'd want a Virginia car, though. You guys kind of in the Rust Belt there a little bit. I drove to Las Vegas for my last car. Ironically, it ended up coming from Illinois, so that was kind of a bust. But I bought it anyways. Arizona car, somewhere hot all the time. You like the patina on this car? I don't. I'm not a patina guy. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. It's just not my cup of tea, the whole patina thing, really. I kind of tease people about it a little bit. If you guys watch David Freiberger's channel, he just fixed it up and they put fake patina on his car truck that he just is waffling off there or whatever to try to make it look like the original paint. It's like, bro, I don't know. I mean, it matched good and stuff, but it seemed like a ton of work to go backwards to make it look like terrible, like putting scratches back in it and stuff. I just don't like it. I like my cars to look decent at least, even if it's not perfect after I paint it or whatever. In my opinion, it still looks way better than just looking like this. You want to just buy it how it is, busted? I'll sell it you how it is. Make it a. I went right by you the other day, I think. Maybe not right by you, but not too bad. Man, it took us freaking. Took us like another project car that won't get finalized. Sure, Don. What are you up to today, Don? Other than just busting my balls, giving me the gears here. Maybe I'll sell this one to Busted instead. You can drive my car for $1 million. Well, I don't have $1 million. Plus, I would probably just buy my own car. Man. Email me a price. Let me think on that. I already bought the paint for it. That's actually why I went to Summer Racing the other day and then kind of got all. What would you even do with it? You're supposed to be a Mopar guy. It would be a pretty cool burnout car, I'm not gonna lie. But actually, this would be a really perfect starting point for like building like a pretty quick street car that has like disc brakes, you know, air conditioning, all that kind of stuff. Like really just needs a better motor, and you'd have a pretty nice driver, tilt, cruise, all that stuff. Like it amazes me how many cars in the US don't have factory air conditioning from this era. And so then that makes it a pain if you ever want to add air conditioning, even if it's not all there. You could still use some of the factory components down the road, like vents and all that stuff, and dryer and condenser and all whatever I should say. But if you don't have all that, then you got to deal with like trying to figure out like an underdash unit or going like the vintage air route. That's costs like more than what I pay for cars. So I really should keep this car, but I know I'm not going to. Got to keep moving along. Are you getting mad that I'm tearing all this? I'm taking all this stuff off here, Busted? I have 5 burnout cars. Probably give it to my wife. Sell it you for 25 grand. Man, I'm nowhere in the ballpark of your price points for my cars. Everything I buy is on a budget as much as possible. I feel like eventually I'm probably going to get out of what I normally like to spend. The problem is if I spend more than what I normally like to spend, by the time I actually get them back on the road and running and driving and all the things, it always costs a lot of money. So we'll see if I wreck this thing with my paint job here, because it's black, I'm painting it black. I'm not going to try to hide that from you guys. There's only a handful of you in here anyways. Well, there's quite a few of you guys in here right now. So I'm going to paint it black, but I've never painted black before, so I'm not sure how that's going to go. It'll be interesting to see how I've never painted. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have painted a car black, but it was totally not the right way. And I've definitely never painted with single stage like this. It turned out okay that time, so I feel like I'm better than I used to be, but everybody says black is the hardest to paint, so I don't know. We'll find out if I suck at it or not. Have you done a burnout yet? It wouldn't do a burnout. Not mad at it, it adds character. So you don't want it painted or what, Busted? Is it gonna wreck it for you if I paint it? The painting is probably gonna be the easiest part. You have a couple hoists, or at least one hoist, right, Busted? I'm pretty sure you do. Yeah, you do, because I've seen you work on your cars on it there. I do remember now. That is the one thing I'm lacking. I was actually going to buy a hoist to put in the garage. Like in the last week here, I found one. But by the time I got a hold of the guy and told him I would come and get it, it was sold already. But it was just a single post, which is perfect for a garage like this. They actually make portable versions of it, but this one was actually like a bolt to the floor one, which is whatever. But Chevy can't do burnouts. No, this one for sure can't. This one's maybe, like you said, with some water or oil or something. It feels lazy. Like, I don't know, 305s are not always the greatest anyways, but it feels like it's got no timing or something in it. But it is a Smog 350 with no compression probably, so that probably isn't really helping anything. You know how it goes. So, what we got going on here, guys? I have a few. Yeah, just one thing at a time here anyways. I thought you had a few. I thought you had a few hoists. I was pretty sure. I forget, man. I got a terrible memory. I think this one will look okay painted though. I don't know. Either way, whatever. It would be a pretty sweet car though. How'd you end up with all those spare parts that you got there, Busted? Are you going to put a quad turbo pack on it? What's a quad turbo pack? I don't even know what that is. I guess I've painted a few cars black. I've actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I did do an F-body black one time, but it was a 3rd gen. I don't remember how I painted it now. I think I did have a spray system at the time. I know that car actually turned out decent. Oh. Not sure what a quad turbo is their handle. I'll keep you in mind, Busted, for sure. Said, you know when I sell these things, it's not like I'm getting rich on them, but just trying to get my money back out of them and maybe make a few bucks or whatever. Or sometimes I just break even. It just kind of depends. depends on the car, whatever. I feel like these cars have definitely come up in value though. I've seen a bunch selling around here lately, and they've been what I thought was kind of high, and they still sold. So I guess that's a good thing, I suppose, in my aspect. But what do we got going on here? Mail. What's everybody up to? If you guys are new here, make sure you guys subscribe and check out all the content there. Like I said, I do budget builds mostly on this channel and stuff, and I'll probably continue on with this one busted budget busted. I'll probably continue on with this one busted just because it's one of those like, it's, for me, this is an easier build than a lot of them, and doing it out of this garage versus like a real shop like I'm trying to build, it'll be a lot easier to do this. So I think I'll probably follow through with this one, at least to a decent amount. I always try to get them at least to the point where somebody actually like want to like fix all the little things on it and deal with all that kind of stuff. So that's, you know, if somebody, even if I didn't do things like fix the door handles or, you know, like got the AC working or whatever, it's all there so people could do whatever they wanted. Yeah, this car is actually going to clean up pretty decent, so it's probably going to need Bondo in that nose going again. It looks like something happened there one time. Like, I wonder if there was like, I don't know. Looks like something got hot on the hood there. What's up, Big? Yeah, should be decent when once it's painted and stuff. Honestly, aside from that on the nose cone, this car is like pretty solid actually. Kind of makes me happy. You don't find them this good anymore. And for it to even not be like you guys know how the subframes rust on these cars all the time. It doesn't seem like it. The green square body, that's my son's actually. So that one's not going to get sold. He'll keep that one. It was a one owner truck before we got it. So if it ever got sold, I would buy it from him and just keep it, because you'll never find another one owner truck like that or whatever. And we went to a lot of trouble to bring it from Canada and everything. So that one's going to stay around for a bit. Needs a few little things. There was a couple little, when we test drove it there was a couple little oil drips and stuff that we found. Just haven't, I literally haven't been home for probably almost 2 weeks here. I've been home for like a brief little stint here and there. So I haven't really had a bunch. Death Race movie. I said this car looks exactly like, does anybody here watch Tony Angelo's channel? Stay tuned. This, or even like Hot Rod Garage actually is where that started. So this car to me looks exactly like how the bone marrow looked when it started. Rear frame rails on these F bodies can be sketchy. Exactly, yeah. Yeah. Pole Barn Garage was just doing one of these cars, and the whole, basically where all the shocks and everything mounted was just gone on it, and it was in Kingman, Arizona too. So I don't know if it was an out-of-state car or whatever happened, but this car actually looks solid all the way around. But it's got long tube headers on this car, and then it's crazy, man, how low they are. It's, I don't know, whatever. It's like, if you look at the side of this car even, I think the back springs are probably like what they always do in these cars. They kind of sagged a little bit there. Probably could use. I like these cars when they've got like a little bit of a tilt to them, I suppose, if you want to call it that. So that's how I prefer them, but I don't know. I do whatever. Oh man, it's got striping on the bottom too. I didn't even notice that. That sucks. See, this is where having a hoist would be nice. But yeah, it seems solid underneath it. I mean, I don't know, unless there's surprises hiding that I haven't found yet. But I haven't really seen anything that's been like jumped out at me as like scaring me anyway, so that's good, I suppose. Hopefully when I go to like sand this down after this, that it's not like the glue doesn't like bind up like it normally does. I hate doing cars that have stripes on them. I've never had great success with it, if I'm being totally honest. Getting it all off and then hiding it afterwards makes it like kind of annoying actually. I'm sure the people that paint cars all day long will probably laugh at me and be like, oh, that's easy to deal with, but I think the people that paint cars all day long have a lot more patience for this kind of stuff, because you would have to be able to like actually deal with all this, right? Maybe one of those eraser wheels. I've never tried that actually on stuff, but they say those eraser wheels actually work pretty good. Just put on the drill or whatever. I should try that. They were always the little rake 275 60s and 255 60s. I agree. So yeah, this car's got 14s on it, and that tells you how low it sits because it's actually tucked the wheels. I don't know if you can kind of see, but like if I put my hand here straight from the bottom of the fender, it literally hits the top of the tire. So like that shows you. So if you put 15s on, it would really be tucked in there. So I might take the wheels off my Camaro and put them on this car now, just because I think this is actually like a better suited car for that. And actually, when I'm looking at the back here of how they're so like recessed here, but yeah. Are you getting that car for the next Death Race movie? No, I'm not. But that would be funny. That's what it looks like, though. It looks pretty rough, but it's actually not bad. This day and age, though, even looking like this, most people get scared away on dealing with cars like this, or else they'll just run them into the ground or make them into derby cars and stuff. And I don't do that. I try to save them all. So, well, slowly getting it off, I guess. Holy cow! I didn't think this was going to be this big of an ordeal. Actually, I didn't realize there was that much of it on here. At least all this stuff came off already, though. That's good. I didn't realize all that stuff was gone. Looks like the sun just beat it all off already. Most of it. Whew. All right. Appeared to have second gen snowflakes on it. Well, it actually has the Berlinetta wheels on it. They put the snowflakes, just the one snowflake for the spare on it there, because I think what happened was they got a flat. There's actually a brand new 14-inch that goes back on the factory wheel here. I don't really care for these wheels. I don't know if you saw this front wheel. It's got that weird kind of Berlinetta wheel on it. I don't really care for those wheels that much. I actually don't even really have a problem with 14s. I could live with it for a car that I'm doing for the channel like this or whatever, but it's just not my favorite to have that style wheel on it. I always like rallies of some sort on them anyways, you know. I like center lines on these cars the best personally, or something along the lines of that, if possible. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it needs a door handle. I wonder if it's like, it does move though. It doesn't move enough for what? Maybe. Oh, maybe it would. Oh, huh, there you go. So it does open and close. It's just really, really tweaked there. But actually, I like those Berlinetta snowflakes on it that are on the back there. That actually looks better than the ones that are on the front and the other factory ones there anyways. But considering that, like I said, this car was like owned by a kid or whatever, and it got kind of run into the ground a little bit. Like it's not really run into the ground considering that, actually. It's in better shape than most of them were. I suppose most of the time the Berlinetta cars didn't really go to kids that often, I don't think, because people didn't really like the non-spoiler cars. I'm kind of scared to drill holes in it. I made a post on social media asking if people thought that the non-spoiler cars looked as good as the spoiler cars, and everybody was like, no, they're ugly without the spoiler. I was like, yep, I agree. Doors are extremely heavy. If I remember, they have an impact beam against the inner skin. I think you're right, actually. And they are super heavy and super long, and that's the problem. So, oh, man. Let's see if I can get some more here. A little at a time. But even like the lower rockers and stuff aren't rusted. Like it's pretty crazy actually. There is a huge dent on the other side, and I'm assuming that like underneath, like right in the lower rocker panel there. And I'm assuming that's to do with like that's probably to do with when they crushed the exhaust. Apparently at a speed bump that happened. I had a Berlinetta, I forgot the year, but it was a 4-barrel I had in Germany. Huh, that's interesting. I always wondered like if places like that got cars like this or if they just had their own stuff. It's not against a like what? Okay. Whatever. All right, trying to get more of this stuff off there. I suppose the underside is probably on there really good yet because it never got the sun. As soon as you get to the sides here, you can see it's like the stripes still look like new. Oh, man. Try to get the stripes off without peeling the paint because then you have to sand it all the way down to the metal. I wonder what they were thinking when they're like, hey, you know what? Let's put these stripes around this mirror. Seems like a pretty good idea. What were you guys doing? I guess if it's not perfect underneath there, it's not like you're going to see it anyways, but I do like to try to do the best job that I possibly can. This car might sit outside off and on for a bit here anyways too. Whew. What's up, Gorilla? How's it going, man? I don't know if there's sport mirrors. It's the same. I don't know. I think they're all the same, aren't they? Busted? You seem to know more about these cars than I do, and I've had a pile of them. You're a closet Chevy guy there, Busted. Oh, man. Not too much, Gorilla. Just slowly starting to prep this thing for paint there, so that's kind of what's happening here. What's going on there, Johnny boy? Going outside or what? Yeah. Okay. I'm on dad duty here today. Same as. Okay. Same as TA, it should be. Yeah, I think it is. I think all the second gen mirrors are the same as far as I know. At least the 75 to 81s. I know there was changes in the 70 to 74 cars there to the next ones. I think like seats were different and I guess the spoilers were different. I never realized how much different the back ends were on those cars actually until I started looking for a spoiler and I was like, oh man, that's a big difference. At least on I guess on all of them really. They had that weird kind of more like bubbly rear there. They're more squared off than these cars were. I always thought that they all had the same spoilers and stuff. Again, I've never had the early generation cars like that to really compare it though, to be honest. This car even has power windows in it, which is funny. It is a pretty sweet car though. I like it. It would be a good car for somebody to use as like I think make it reliable and it could be a pretty cool daily, honestly, without even messing around with the motor and stuff. Just make it that it runs and drives half decent and stuff like that. Go to tune up and even for like a young person, probably. I've seen these 305s get 28 miles per gallon when they're dialed in on the Quadrajet there. Some had deck mount, some had quarter wrap overs, similar to the F-body Mopar. What's the F-body Mopar? What cars are those? Yeah, I know the early 70s had a single piece spoiler, and these are 3-piece or whatever if you had it. But I never realized that before. I didn't realize that the tails were so much different on these, like the rear of the car. I did not realize that they were that much different until I started looking. I was like, oh man, that's a huge difference. I really like the early 70s cars too because I like those round taillights, but they kind of look like that AMC Matador that I had. That's what it always reminded me of. This would be so much easier if I had a hoist. Just lift it up in the air a little bit and then you don't have to like lean over like this. When you start getting older, you start getting to be like not wanting to do all this stuff like leaning over on the ground. You still in here, Cruel? Sorry, I had to cut off your chat there earlier with you and the other guy arguing there. It's hard to moderate when you're here by yourself. Usually my wife's in here kind of taking care of it. I'm missing some of the messages. She is busy today, so well there we go. Most of that stuff off one side anyways. Already looks cleaner. Kind of went through the paint on a little bit there. Yeah, that you can kind of feel it's not rusted like through, but it's starting to get like rough from that being on there for so long. That's kind of interesting. That'll be able to be sanded out though for sure. But it had it all the way around. All this, just still got a little bit of the glue there. That'll be easy to sand out too. My friend has a 1991 Corvette for sale, all stock. Huh. Aspen's, okay, so the F-body car is Aspen's Volare Super Coupe. Interesting. I did not realize that. Everybody in my family, I don't even know if they made them in the US, but everybody in my family learned how to drive in my grandpa's 1978 Plymouth Caravelle, which I think is like the Volare here, I believe. I don't know if it was the same years though, 78. Yeah, it was 78. But it was a four-door. Literally everybody. If it was a Z06 car, Gorilla, that would be sick. That is on my bucket list one day, is to get a 1990 Z06 car. So we'll see. What do you think of your channel there, Busted, as you're going along here and you're kind of learning things and stuff like that? What's your takeaway after doing it for so long? Do you get frustrated with it? Is it like at some point are you like it's hard to do it full time and all that stuff? Is it just constantly changing or constantly trying to keep up with the content or whatever? Do you feel like it's a problem, or you think it's just as you continue on, it'll just continue to grow and stuff? It's definitely a ton of work. I don't think people that do it full time realize how much work it is. Yeah, YouTube. Caravel is the same as the K car. No, the K cars in Canada are small. They're like the compact version. It looks exactly like a Caravel, except way smaller in Canada. There's the K car. The Caravels were like full-size cars. He's gonna check what kind of car it is there. Well, that's good. You guys know all these cars always rust around these back windows too here. I'm sure if you guys have ever had these F-body cars there, it was actually funny. I'm surprised it hasn't really rusted through. You can start to see. I will say the guy that sold it to me right at the right time. So, because you know it is, everybody's like, I'll fix that one day. And he kind of had that mentality, but he was like, all right, he's like, I'm not going to get to this thing, whatever the reasons were. My son doesn't really care about it, so I'm going to sell it. And he sold it after sitting for 4 years. So what's up, SRT? You cleaning it up? Yes, I'm getting it ready to, it needs a bunch of stuff like paint and bodywork and all that kind of stuff. So just taking all the striping and stuff off of it here. Try to get all that. At least a bunch of it already came off from the sun, which is good. Man, this thing should, I think this is going to be I shouldn't even say this too loud, but I feel like this is almost going to be, in terms compared to what I normally paint on this channel, easy. C4. Yeah, I guess C5 started in, what, 98 there, girl, I think. Definitely subscribing. Where are you from there, SRT? Yeah, just everything on my channel is just budget stuff there, SRT. I do a little bit of everything, but I'm not brand specific or car specific. I know sometimes people will come in here and they'll say, hey, we're not going to watch your stuff because you only do Chevys. I'm like, I don't only do Chevys. It's just that what happens to kind of fall into my lap. Like, you have to remember, doing it on a budget like that it makes it like kind of difficult from a standpoint of like finding cars. Like, so I'm always trying to work in a really tight budget and not get upside down on them. I don't mind to break even on them, but I don't like to lose money on them. So there you go. That's the first rust spot that we've seen that actually had a hole in it. What's that? Yeah, you can. If you can get it out of here, I'll move out of your way here. Yeah, go ahead. You can open the door and take it out. Son's gonna take his scooter out here. starting to get to that time of the year where it's starting to be hot, so that's okay. I need to open the door to get to this side anyways. Definitely enjoy it. However, I feel like it's on its way out, or they're about to clean house in smaller channels. You can kind of see and hear of it now. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. They're busted. What year is this model again? Let me move the... Just give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry, I just moving sides here. My son wanted to get out of the garage with his scooter, so... no, it's okay. I'll leave it open for now. I gotta work on this side anyways. It's a 79 Camaro Berlinetta. So Berlinettas were like, I don't know, what were the Berlinettas were kind of like, people used to think they were like economy models, but they weren't, because most of them were actually pretty loaded up. It was just like there was different explanations for it, but basically people say that they were kind of like supposed to be more of like a, apparently what I heard is they're supposed to be geared towards women actually. So that was kind of what I've always heard. They were supposed to be geared towards women. Someone told me there was actually lady stuff holder in the center consoles of some of the Berlinetta cars at one point there. I'm not sure if that's actually true or not, but that is what I heard. So looks like the taillights are pretty faded on this car. I realized after that hailstorm too, I'm starting to find more and more damage. It busted out the taillights on my Camaro, my 3rd gen Camaro there. And those things are like freaking $709 per side. Then we realized we went to fill up our pool yesterday, and we were cleaning it out, and we got to the bottom of the pool, which we had just drained because we were using it beginning of March already, and then it cooled off and it never warmed back up. So I said, well, might as well just drain it, because we had it half full over the winter. So we drained it, and then we had this hailstorm the other day, or a couple weeks ago now, I guess. And it actually knocked holes in the bottom of the pool liner. And the only reason I realized what had happened was because I was looking for pools after seeing that. I was like, oh, this pool didn't last very long, 2 years. And then I realized, oh, there's people in my town selling pools that got hail damaged. I'm like, oh, I see what happened there. All right, what do we got going on? Dayton, Ohio. Okay, gotcha. Cool, good to see you, SRT. What's the history on this? I don't know, I just buy cars for my channel here. This one came from North Carolina. It was owned by a younger guy. He wanted something when I think he was in college, and so he wanted a Camaro, and so his dad found him this Camaro, and then, yeah, one thing led to another there, and he just basically kind of drove it and didn't really do any maintenance or care about it at all for, didn't really care about it, and so that's how I ended up with it. It sat for the last 4 years, and he sold it to me, I feel like, just in time. I think if it would have let it sit any longer, it would have turned into a situation of, like all these other cars do, I'm gonna fix it one day and then never get to it, and then next thing you know, everything's kind of wrong with it. But it, you know, it still runs and drives actually. Needs definitely some tune-up and stuff like that, but it does run and drive. The brakes work. They did do some stuff to it over time there. I haven't really looked into it that much, to be totally honest. I haven't checked mechanicals and stuff on it really, but it seems like at least it's all there, running and driving. It just needs some mechanical stuff. No, it's an automatic. There wasn't actually a ton of these cars that were manual. Still want that square body, Jason. Which one? The green one? That car should be the next Mad Max. That's funny. Everybody says that. It should be either Mad Max or the Death Race one. That's funny. You guys say that. But it is pretty solid, though. I said there was just a little rust hole on the other side there. Other than that, it's a pretty solid car, honestly. It'll be a good painter. As a matter of fact, now that I'm looking at it, that's probably why it's so good. I can see right now it's been repainted already. You could see it must have had like a Mako paint job or something at some point, because where they taped it, you can see the tape line. That's actually funny. You can actually see like a little strip here and then the tape line, and you can actually see paint, which is what would happen when I painted. I don't know if you guys can see that underneath there. but there's actually paint up against that chrome trim, which is funny. That's literally because I don't take the trim off when I paint cars, because sometimes it just turns into a thing where it's like hard to get it back together and stuff, so I usually don't. I just tape around it. But can I show the wheels? Yeah, I can show you the wheels, Gorilla. It's got the ugly Berlinetta wheels on it. Let me see here. There. So that's the 3 wheels. Well, it has 4 of them. They have beauty rings that go on them too. They're in the trunk. But yeah, I mean, so let's see what size tires. 235 60/14s. There's a little more. It seems like it's leaning to the left side a little bit, but these only had 3 leafs on them. They did spend some money at some point. Oh, I see what's happening. The exhaust is actually touching the leaf spring. That's funny. So it's 2.5. It looks like they put new exhaust on it at one point, but it's definitely trashed. What's up, guys? Welcome in. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe and check out all the other content here. Original tires, no, it's not. I'm assuming just by looking at them, they put them on probably right before parking it. At least a few of them, 3 of the 4, I think. AAA, been loving cars since I came into this world. Me too, SRT. I didn't know old schools came with automatic. Definitely want to own one day. I'm 23. Nice. That's cool. Man, younger guys that are into cars, I dig it, man, because there's not very many of you guys anymore. It seems like it's kind of starting to be a lost thing in the younger generations here. So anytime some younger guys can get into it, my whole I guess thing is that I just try to save as many as possible. So most of the ones that I buy, I've been kind of getting lucky here and finding some nicer ones here lately. For me, this is a nice car. Like, I mean, this is honestly, I never start with them this nice. So starting with one this good a condition is abnormal for me. Most of the time they're like literally ready for the junkyard. So this is, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't do any of the other ones anymore, but it is nice to have one of these once in a while. Makes it a little bit easier for me too, to be honest. So I usually jump on lives like this when I'm just kind of doing like the tedious things. Like, I'm not gonna put a hour-long video of me peeling all the stuff off of my, like all of this little stuff off of it. So nobody's gonna care about that. So anytime I'm doing, like, if I'm working in the garage like this and I'm just doing like piddly little things like this, I just jump on to BS with you guys a little bit usually. Kind of see what everybody's up to. Yeah, this car's definitely been painted. That would explain why it's in better shape than a lot of them. Interesting. That is interesting. I mean, it's cool though. I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. A 79 car, I mean, it's 50 years old or whatever almost, right? We're getting there. So getting close to that. It makes sense that sometime in its lifetime, who knows, it could have even had more than 1 repaint by now. That's interesting that they put the decals. What do you guys call it here? It's interesting that you guys put that back. I feel like riding what? Superbird would be cool. Do I like the Chargers and Challengers? I do like the Chargers. Yeah, I made a joke post about that on this channel when I had like 500 subs. I'm like, hey, when I hit 100,000, I'm gonna buy something like a 68 to 70 Charger. And then I remember a whole bunch of people coming on. They're like, oh, you got a long ways to go, pal. Well, I got 15,000 subs now, so that's something. We're gaining. But I would do it. I've thought about. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is kind of funny. So I was like, you ever have like a weird rough sleep or whatever? Well, that was kind of what was happening last night there, and I had some weird dream that I just was gonna give this car away. Not this car, actually. It was actually another car that I have. I had a dream that I was going to give away that 56 Bel Air, actually. I don't know why I thought about that. I thought that was funny. I kind of knew exactly what the deal was with it. I felt like when I bought that car, that would be a channel maker. I just haven't got to it yet because it's going to take a lot of time and money and effort. They're extremely expensive there. I believe that, Gorilla. Isn't everything extremely expensive there? Seems like you live in a place that's kind of highly priced for everything anyways. So I'm sure there's not really a whole bunch of cheap stuff these days in your area. Oh, this isn't coming off that easy on this one. This must not have been in the sun as much. I hope the transmission's okay on this thing, because he tried to get it out of a hole and it was low on transmission fluid, and he just obviously just kept revving it anyways, probably thinking it was just stuck, but really it was low on transmission fluid, and it probably would have just drove right out if he filled it. But so now it feels like it's kind of soft. I ended up, all I had with me to put in it was hydraulic fluid, so that's what I added to the transmission, which is fine. Usually it makes the transmission actually like firm up the shifts when you do that, but interesting. Yeah, so yeah, I'll just all this little piddly stuff, like I said. I painted a 3rd gen Camaro one time that had all this like pinstriping and stuff on it, and I freaking hated it, man. It took me so long. Now, granted, I was pretty young back then, and I do have a lot better tools now, but have I ever come across a GTO? Like the early ones? Like you're talking like the like late 60s, early 70s? Yes, actually quite a bit. I see them all the time, actually. They're not as uncommon as you would think. I probably will do one on the channel at some point, just because they're not really that hard to find, honestly. Like, I see them all the time for $6,000 or less. Of course, builders, right? They need a lot of work at that price, but usually complete though, or at least complete missing the drivetrain maybe. Which for some people, I mean, like, if you were going to build a numbers matching car, then that's going to be a problem for you. And most people that want a GTO want it because it's numbers matching and stuff, and so whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't really care about that kind of stuff, so I get a lot of flack when I do like LS swap type stuff or whatever. I don't know why. It's like people have a problem with like upgrading an engine from, like, for example, if I told people I was going to put an LS in this car and be like, hey, I'm taking this 125 horsepower 305 out and I'm going to put a 450 horse LS in it, I would get grief for it, and it doesn't make sense to me. It's like, it would be better on fuel. It would be better on fuel. It would be overall just a way better package, like roller cam, better heads, makes way more power. Like, and I don't really understand. I know people are like, well, it's just overdone. I get that, but I mean, for the longest time, everybody built small block Chevys, and that was like the thing to do. He is confused. Cruising around my GTO rock and roll high school. Like 100,000 for one? That's crazy. I love the 69s. Movie Dukes of Hazzards was golden. It was. That's why everybody likes them, because of the Dukes of Hazzard. I'm surprised that, especially with everybody the way that society is these days, that people haven't gotten away from them now, because everybody hates in the Confederate flag and all. You know how it is, right? People in their politics, they want to argue about everything. So I'm surprised that they haven't really fallen off a little bit by now, because haters gonna hate, you know? Haters gonna hate. But they have not for some reason. I don't really know why. Oh, man. Wow, this side is on there really good. Oh, it's going to be fun to sand all that glue out of there on this side. Not as easy as the other side, for sure. Whew, time to get some AC going in this garage, guys. It's getting to be too hot for this guy. This is the time of year where I've got to have AC or I just can't function. Never used to be like that, but Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am was cool. I like them too. I do like those. But it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of overdone, actually. Everybody wants the Smokey and the Bandit style front end and stuff, and I like them, don't get me wrong, but I just like to be different too, so yeah. I'd probably rather like a 76 or something like that, just because I like those front ends better, actually, even though ironically, the Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am was actually a 76. They just put a 77 front end on it, which is kind of interesting. Most people don't realize that. Everybody thought those cars were like built built engines and all this stuff too, and they weren't. They actually only had 3 cars for that movie. It's funny. They had 3 Trans Ams and I think 2 or 3 of the other cop cars. I forget now. Wow, this is crazy coming off of here. Black would rather drive that car with the orange paint job and the flag on the hood. Exactly. I don't know, man. Whatever. People always want to get up in their feelings about everything. I could care less, man. It's like, if you're gonna look at a car and think a certain way about a certain whatever, it's just a car, man. Kevin, it's illegal to drive that car without a mullet. Start growing it. What's the movie there? Oh, Talladega Nights. It's like, does anybody want to go fast? I want to go fast. Oh, man. Holy cow, my garage is a mess. Of course, now we took all of these parts off my son's truck, and so it doesn't have like the serpentine kit anymore, man. It's just like, I need a storage shed just for parts and stuff. This is getting to be a little bit out of hand in here. Getting to be, even though I took 1 car out of here or whatever, I'm not trying to work with 2 cars in the garage anymore. It's still tight on space, but whatever, man. Guess I can't complain too much. Life is pretty decent. Whew. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys subscribe and check out all the videos. And the best thing you guys can do is just watch through my videos and help me out that way and stuff or whatever. If you want to, you can jump on a membership too, get some early access and stuff like that. John Stevenson. I'm 58 and have a mullet now. John, I haven't seen you in a bit. How's it going, man? This is making me think about my project I'm procrastinating on. What are you procrastinating on there, Grown? It is easy to procrastinate. I'm not going to lie. I would rather be inside in the AC right now, watching TV or doing something else than sitting out in the heat here. But I got to keep up the content for you guys, so I have to be out here, even though I've been working nonstop. Holy cow, man. These things are on here good. That's crazy. There must have been like no sun on the side of the car. You'd think if there was no sun on the side of the car that the paint would be not as gone on this side of the car, but apparently was. I wonder if that's actually what happened here. They painted it again with single stage. I've seen people put clear coat over single stage. I've never done it because I haven't kept a car long enough to like worry about it being a problem, I suppose, but I'm working on it, RH. All right, Busted, thanks for stopping by, man. I keep missing your lives whenever you're on there. I watched all your videos and stuff, but I keep missing your lives, so I try to catch you. Thanks for stopping by, though. Thanks for hanging out, too. Wish I was stuck. Oh, man. Been tuning my mullet and my 67 Camaro. Do you actually have a 67 Camaro? A friend of mine has a 67 Camaro there, John. He's like obsessed with. He wants to do it old school with like the. He wants to do it with the Krager 15-inch rims and black paint and the typical old school. And I was like, I don't really care what people do, honestly, but I tease them all the time. I'm like, you know, everybody paints Camaros that are first-gen Camaros black. Like literally everybody paints them black. Like his car's actually a factory 67 Camaro gold, and it actually, I think the factory gold's not as nice as if you just took it up just a little bit in brightness there, but it was way more unique. Like you're not going to see another one of those around. So I told him he should paint it that color, but he doesn't agree with me. But it is his car, so I respect it. I respect it. All right. Well, I wonder if all this stuff already came off on its own. What do you guys got going on here today? It was very popular in the 80s. Cud map. Sweet ride, dude. Thanks, man. AC, it's got no belt. It's got no belt on, but the compressor is not seized or anything, so I don't know why it wouldn't work. So I'm gonna try for sure. Do I like the Mustang hatch? Like the older ones? I do actually. Mine's original butternut, nice paint, original metal, no Bondo. Huh. Well, you don't like my channel then, John, because I put Bondo in everything, it seems. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to save them. But not always, but I do. I do if I have to. Remember, budget channel, getting cars back on the road is my MO, so if I was going to just build something to keep it forever, maybe I would look at it differently, but I'm cool with it. I don't have any problem with doing it how I do it. There we go. All right. Man, I guess I'm gonna have to figure out a storage thing here. Looks like my F-250 primered over the paint. Oh, yours has a 383 stroker. Decent, decent. That's what he's building for his. He actually went and bought the Trick Flow double hump aluminum heads for his to make it look like the factory, which, whatever, I guess. I mean, it makes more sense than rebuilding old heads, to be fair, at least from that aspect. Oh, man, this is like... Whew. Live chats later in the day, please. Dangerous listening, adding while operating heavy equipment. I know. Sean, how's it going, man? You were one of those people who would never finish a what? All right. Whatever you say, man. That was a very weird comment to say. Now that I'm looking at it, I didn't even realize this. Where that front is like boiled up like that, it's actually got the same thing. It almost looks like it was on fire or something at one point. Oh no, it's just Bondo. So there was like ripples in the paint and they put Bondo and it's actually just cracking out now. That's interesting. So I guess that'll have to get sanded back out, which isn't the end of the world here. What's everybody got going on today? What are you working at, Sean? Oop, there we go. I usually try to do it later in the day, but lately I've been just kind of doing it as I have time because I haven't been home a bunch here lately to actually like do them like the last 2 weeks anyways. The 2 weeks prior to that I was on quite a bit here, but so I'm just kind of jumping on as I'm doing meaningless stuff here. Show you guys the projects here. Whew. Man, this pinstriping kind of is not that easy. I don't know. We'll see when I start sanding this thing down. But man, it seems to be a lot straighter than a lot of cars. I wonder if it's got Bondo in it and it's hiding a lot of stuff. It doesn't seem like it though. What kind of heavy equipment are you operating there, Sean? If you guys are new here, like I said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and watch the videos. Anything that you watch and stuff helps me out. So if you want to support the channel, you can do whatever. You can jump on a membership or whatever you guys want to do. But just watching the videos helps me the most. So go to bed, play it on repeat, tell your friends, do whatever. Definitely. The videos that I have that are the bigger videos is what helps me keep this channel going for sure. So I keep saying I want to get to a point where I can do some car giveaways and stuff like that. And what that would probably mean is starting like more with cars like this that are like, even though they're not like necessarily nice when I get them, they're a lot nicer than a lot of the ones that I do on the channel. So I'd probably start with something like this. I have a really cool car coming up here. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it yet. I have a rough idea, but it's got a lot of good parts in it. I'll show you guys that in a future live or video here, but definitely, man, this stuff is on there. It's just like difficult. Oh well. Yeah, so just trying to get all this pinstriping off. A lot of it came off already, but that's crazy if they would have. I wonder if it went to a professional paint shop actually, because it seems to me like it's like on there pretty good. Come on. Anything that the sun didn't really get at very good is like really on there. It's crazy. It's because it's probably been on there for at least 20 years, I'm sure. But whatever. Get as much off as I can here. 28-ton excavator. Holy cow. What are you up to? What kind of car is this, Vladimir? It is a 1979 Camaro Berlinetta. I haven't touched the 80 Z28 since I put a full floor pan in it a couple of months ago. You got lots of cars, John, or what? Doing floor pans and stuff like that. I mean, I can do that kind of stuff. I'm just, honestly, it doesn't make sense for a channel like mine to do that. And if I start getting into that kind of stuff, it's just way too much time to try to make it into a good video. And so people don't like build series videos and things like that. So that's where we're at. I don't do that kind of stuff, but I appreciate it when people do, because it saves another car for sure. Yours probably should come off, but anyways, it's another story. Digging a foundation in New Brunswick. Is that what you meant? New Brunswick? Reminds me of my late husband, always in his garage tinkering. I like it. Nice. Are you from Salina there, Salina? Does anyone tell him no matter how much he looks at it, it won't fix itself? I'm not looking at it though. Yeah, sorry, I missed a bunch of comments. Apparently they all came through at once here. Yeah, it's a Berlinetta there, Sean. 79 Berlinetta Camaro. Yep. I got some Bondo on it. Interesting. Not bad though. I don't wonder why it was. That's in a weird spot for it to be. It's on the top of the fender here. It's like we get UPS to our house, and then the mail guy comes, and then the FedEx guy comes like within an hour. It's like, bro, can't you guys all like bring it all in the same platform here? Like, apparently not. Once you start working on these cars too, like in my area, we got so many animals out here, like squirrels and things like that, and it's like really a pain to leave them outside, because in no time at all, stuff starts getting into them, like the squirrels and the chipmunks and all this stuff, and then they start making a mess under the hoods and all that stuff. Whew. It's definitely getting hot out here. Have to pull up my giant box fan there. Is that you, John?
Yeah, I'm getting a package.
All right. Your hail video inspired me to park my Challenger in the garage. That's good, because I found a bunch more damage. It knocked holes in our, I don't know if you were here earlier when I was talking about it, but it knocked holes in the bottom of our swimming pool. So that wasn't ideal. And then I realized that it knocked the taillights out of my Camaro, and they're like $700 each. Probably stuff on my roof of my house too. Haven't gone up there to look yet, but I'm probably going to do that. I don't know at what point. I mean, size of, because that's a big hill. Or that. So, anyways, It's interesting because it's like gray, but then it almost looks like it has red primer underneath that. It's kind of weird. Fried Finnegan, okay. Whatever. Well, at least most of it's off already because that would save me a bunch of work. Just have to sand it down a little bit. It's actually interesting because it started getting like surface rust from just that being off of there. It's almost like they put it on bare metal or something when they did it. This is weird. All right, let's see if we can get some of this stuff off, I guess. Like I said, if you guys are new here, subscribe, check out all the content. Jump on a membership. All this stuff helps out, whatever. If you guys are into cars or whatever, just stop by, check out all the videos, whatever. Just watching the videos definitely helps for sure. Share them around with your buddies. The more I can get views wise, the more of these cars I can do. I know I could pick up the pace if I had a shop, but it seems like everything in the world is trying to stop me from building a shop right now, so I'm not fighting it. It just, whatever. Things happen. Wow, this is crazy how difficult it is to get this striping off here. Hopefully it's not all like a pain. These cars are hard to paint too. For me personally, I don't have the greatest back. I've had a bad back since I was like 21. And so I have to be kind of careful. And so then when you're trying to like sand and stuff like that, and you're having to like lean lots, this is where having like a hoist or something like that. I think like a 4-post would actually make the most sense, honestly, because you could just put it up a little bit, you know, sand, whatever, or something like that single post where you could like put it up, sand the one side, prep it and stuff, then turn it around, do the other side. You could do a good chunk of both sides with it on there, and then you'd probably have to move it away from the post to actually get it really good. But yeah, whew. Let's see what else we got here. Budget builds, exactly. That's all I do on my channel, man. Budget builds. Like I try to keep my cars as cheap as possible overall. If you start getting upside down on them, I don't know. I think that's what happens with a lot of people. They start these projects and then they're like just way upside down on them. They don't know how to like finish it because they're so. I think the worst thing that people always do is like tear apart a car and then realize, holy cow, I can't afford everything at once. They do the pull the motor, transmission, interior, strip it down, and then they're like, oh, I can't afford to paint it and rebuild the engine or change the engine or whatever, or paint it and do the interior or whatever it is, right? And that happens, I think, more commonly than anything, and that's why these cars don't really get finished. So this is a better starting point of like, okay, the interior is still okay on it. It's not perfect, but really it's livable and somebody can like deal with it on their own down the road. It's not really that big of a deal. Honestly, I'll probably just clean it up and leave it alone. Like I might change the driver's seat if I can find a black seat to go with it, but other than that, just I might even cover up the back cell panel there, just because. Why not? It's got like wood on it there, and so that's kind of I don't know. It's like it didn't get wet. It's just from the sun, just beating on it or whatever. So I might do that. We'll see how it goes here. See how time allows and how everything else goes too. So it won't go into park and things like that, but I think it's the shifter cable. So I ordered a shifter cable for it already. I picked up paint from Summit Racing. I don't know, didn't really get a bunch of stuff for it yet, but like I said, I think it'll be pretty straightforward to paint, so I don't think it'll be too bad. Whew. What's everybody else got going on today? There's a ton of you guys in here. Let's stop for a little breather here. Take a little drink here, and it's like the what was the old show where the guy was always like drinking? He's like, "Oh, have a little whiskey woo." Man, the ants at my house have been absolutely insane this year. Like I've never seen anything like it. Well, we're getting there, guys. One more panel here. Be good to go. I should probably back it up for that. Would be easier. Where are you from, man? Yeah, it's weird. It was like it had, I don't know, it was like some sort of weird imperfection in the paint right here, like it had a stripe there or something at one point. Some of these cars, if you guys remember this generation of cars, they had like that weird, especially when they didn't have the spoiler on them, they had that weird like, it was like a stripe that came like this and then it wrapped around and it kind of came up, I think, between the window, if I remember right, or something weird like that. Chris, it's a 1979 Camaro Berlinetta. Nothing too exciting, but at least it's a factory V8 car. It's got air conditioning, factory AC, cruise, tilt. Yeah. It's actually funny when you look at a car like this and you think about it, like the fact that this thing has made it through almost 50 years and hasn't even had tinted windows or anything, like why wouldn't you have tinted the windows? Like it came from North Carolina, like wouldn't you want to like cool it down a little bit? It's got black leather seats in it. They're not even leather, they're like pleather, plastic. I'm sure if you know how it is, if you get in these black seats in the middle of summertime, it probably burns your legs. I don't understand, like you could have put 30% tint on the sides and probably, whatever at the back, 50% or something like that. Yeah, it would make it look a lot nicer too, like more of the black to look, but I don't know, whatever, each of their own, I guess. Where are you from, Chris? Yeah, so I'm just peeling a bunch of the stuff off here for the, peeling a bunch of stuff off of the pinstriping and stuff like that. I'm actually gonna back this thing up a little bit right now. Go see if I can hotwire this thing. Portland, Oregon, nice. I used to go to Oregon quite a bit. I like it down there. I like traveling down there anyways, for sure. It's definitely cool. I'm gonna back this thing up a little bit so I can get better access to that. Actually, I'm gonna sweep the floor here first and clean up my mess before I drive over it all here. Nope, just kidding. If I could find the broom, that would be a start, I suppose. But yeah, if you guys are new here, like I said, 79 Camaro, Berlinetta. Ah, there it is. Before I drag it all over the place. I've actually never had a Berlinetta. I've had quite a few second gens now, thinking back about it, but never a Berlinetta somehow. I'm into all the second gen stuff though. It's all cool. Whatever works, man. Oh man, it's a mess in here. I guess that was a deceiving amount of pinstriping. But yeah, just getting this all. Normally I'm videoing, but when I'm doing this little piddly stuff, I usually jump online and do a live. Show you guys kind of what the latest project is. I lock up the lives afterwards, so unless you're a member, you can't watch and you don't really know what's going on. The latest here, but pretty rust-free car other than right here we just saw, which looks like that might have been a pre-fixed patch at one point there. No big deal. I think I could probably just push this thing backwards a little bit. Maybe get too out of hand here. It needs probably all the fluids changed and all that kind of stuff. Whew. I don't go too far with it. Feels like it's got a locking diff in it almost or something. I don't know. There we go. All right, should be able to work on the other side. But yeah, this car's super low. It took me like, not even exaggerating, probably like an hour and a half to get it off the trailer because the headers were catching and it was just kind of an ordeal. All right, I need to find my rolling chair here. That would be a better scenario. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. It was around here somewhere. Sorry, jumping in and out of the show here, guys. No big deal. A lot easier to do on this creep chair than sitting on my stool here. All right, is it a 350 or are you going to do something different? Corvette Hulk. No, it's not. Kentucky. I'm in Oklahoma. It's a 305 car actually from the factory, so looks like it's still all original, I believe, which is, yeah. I don't, Chris, I don't, generally speaking, I don't usually, I mean, as a general rule of thumb, I try to use what I have, and the reason is because I'm a budget channel, and so if I start messing around and doing swaps and everything and stuff, it just gets so expensive so quick. So generally speaking, I try to use what I got, and so I'll swap the world. I do have an LS for it, but I'm actually putting that in a different car. Definitely wouldn't do it in this car. So I'll probably just run with what I got here, mostly because it actually runs half decent. I guess like I used to always be like, if it was for myself before, it was like, man, we got to put a bigger engine or upgrade it or whatever. So I'll tell you what I'm thinking here. I'll be totally honest with you guys. When I got this thing, I was like, man, it's got through a 500 already. I don't want to swap it. And I was like, if the video does good and they get enough views on it, I'll put nitrous on it, and I'll take it to the track and see how much gains we can get with nitrous on a stock 305 over the factory. Probably 120, I don't know, it's probably like 130 horse from the factory or something like that. Do I flip all these cars? I sell them. I wouldn't call it flipping. Flipping would mean that you're trying to buy them to make money, and that's not really what I do. Now, people that flip cars don't put weeks of work into them to make money. They just buy it, lipstick on a pig, and then sell them. Now, do I make money on some of them? I wouldn't say that I necessarily make money. It's like, if I do, it's because I bought everything off of like Marketplace, or I got some incredible deals or something like that. And anything that I would make on it, it goes into the next build. So it's not like I'm making money for like living purposes or something like that, if you want to say that. Everything goes back into the channel. So basically, if it comes from the channel, it goes back into the channel, if that kind of makes sense. But I could, I mean, honestly, if I really wanted to, a lot of times I sell these vehicles for a lot cheaper than what most people would pay, you know, to try to get a car that actually like looks pretty decent and runs decent and whatever, or is painted, or, you know, the interior's been replaced or whatever, for people to get something like that for the prices I sell them for. It's like, not really. It just doesn't really happen. So like I sold that square body there. Again, factory 4-wheel drive, short bed, painted. Even though it was painted in my yard, it looked decent and stuff. Like, it actually looked pretty good, honestly, other than a few body imperfections because it had Bondo in it because it needed a bed. But yeah, so it's super, super easy to get going down a road of like spending way too much money. Like I said, if I bought this car and I was like, okay, let's put a 350 in it or something like that. I have a 350 sitting on the shelf here. It's another small 350 out of that square body. But I mean, I could put a cam in it, do a few things to it or whatever. But then all of a sudden now you've got another $2,000 into it, and you got to figure out, when you, especially doing it how I'm doing it, I want to at least break even on these cars. And if you start getting upside down, I'm not like a huge channel like Cletus's or whatever. If you're like Cletus McFarlane and you can just, you know, not care about you spent $10,000 on a car and it doesn't sell afterwards or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But for a guy like me, I've got to at least like get my money back out of it, right? So you have to be kind of, it can be a slippery slope, right? You start going down that road of like, holy cow, I've just spent all this money, and then you don't get your money back. Once you start losing money on a channel like mine, you're not going to stay a channel very long, because, you know, if I was doing it for myself and it was just like how I used to do it, of course you're not going to make money on it because you're not buying them to make money on them or to break even, if that makes sense. But because I'm like because I'm at least trying to get my money back out for the next project. It's essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking the money from one project, rolling into the next one. 74 or newer. It is a 79 Camaro Berlinetta, guys. Is that a 68 Camaro? No. I wish it was a 68 Camaro. That would be even cooler, but no. But I have been looking at some first gen Camaros though, so like the 67 to 69 Camaros there. I've been looking at those cars quite a bit lately, actually, and there are some that kind of are in my budget, actually. I mean, a little bit more than I would normally spend, I suppose, on channels, but like at a price that I could do something with them on. The problem for me is like when I start doing unfamiliar cars like that, I don't know, I'm, you know, if it's not a car, like I don't do first, I've never had a first gen. So like, I don't know how far I can push it and still get my money back. Like for example, if I spent $6 grand on a car and it still needs paint and body and engine and transmission and interior and all that stuff. And let's say if I doubled the money that I put into it. So let's say I spent 12 grand on it. I say this all the time on my channel. I'm like, people are only willing to spend X amount on like an amateur build, if that kind of makes sense. So even if it looks decent and it runs and drives good and everything like that, there's always some imperfections with like amateur builds. You know, the paint's not going to be you know, it's not a Barrett Jackson paint job. It's not going to be like, you know, so it's kind of like there'll be a point of like trade-off, right, where you might not get your money back. And I kind of get scared when I start thinking of bigger numbers. And that's partially why I do like a lot of just cheaper cars, because I know like most people are willing to spend under 10 grand on a car that runs good, drives good, stops good, you know, and it looks half decent. That seems to be kind of like the number where people are like, okay, I'll buy a car like that, even though it's not perfect. It's cool, looks good, you know, it looks pretty decent. It's a weekend cruiser, whatever. Mine was a straight 6. Transmission was out. Built a new one. I built a new one in it. It was black. I built a built a 350 transmission, put a 350 shift kit in it, ran great. Nice. That's cool. Bought my wife a 2018 LT1, 335 horsepower, 20-inch rims. Not good for crazy weather. I'm planning on switching to 18-inch. Nice. Where are you from there, trucker? What kind of crazy weather? Are you talking about like just rain and stuff, crazy weather? But yeah, when you start getting those elastic band tires on there, I'm not as into, I don't know. My son's like working for GM now. And of course, being a younger guy, and that's his generation, he's like really into like the newer Camaros and stuff like that. And I'm just not. I can't get into them. I don't know. My head just won't allow me to be like, man, I think this 4,000-pound sports car is cool. It's just not, to me, it just, I guess I can't make sense of it. So it's one of those things where I'm like, well, each to their own. It's not my thing. I don't mind that he likes it. That's totally cool. I mean, it's each to their own, but it's just not. For me personally, it's not my thing, so I'm not into it. What's up, Lark? How's it going, man? What do the jewels do there, trucker? Hardly anybody sends me jewels. It's usually like, if anybody does anything, it's usually like a super chat, but once in a while I see the jewels and I'm not. New York City, nice. We were just in New York City like a month ago. It's cool. Not too bad at all. I don't know anything about how all the jewels and stuff work. I think it kind of like bumps up your channel into the algorithm or something. Somebody told me, but I don't know if that's actually true or not. Ooh. Yeah, it's hard to do on this fiberglass. You gotta be careful that you don't dig in, which is kind of what was just happening there. I'll pull you guys a little bit closer here. Probably starting to get the camera hot now. Imagine. Whew. I need a lift. I do need a lift there, Arthur. I was actually just looking at one in the last week. I need a shop. I'm in the process of trying to build a shop. It's just, it's like, it's only going to cost $1 million. That's pretty much what happens. Every time I'm like literally about to do it, something either happens with a vehicle or a house or a mower or whatever. And it's like, oh, there's $2 grand I didn't plan on spending. Oh, there's $2 grand I didn't plan on spending. So I found a single post hoist that actually, so this garage is only, well, it's like, I think the garage is like 12 feet high. So I have height. But I also have like a short garage door. It's really weird. There's only like a 7-foot garage door, I think, or something stupid like that, maybe 8. Anyways, so trying to make my Mustang louder. Why? Me either. Just send it for those who deserve it. Nice. Thanks, man. Yeah. Anyways, I just don't. I don't know. I just whatever. I work with what I got, but it definitely is like I'm getting to the point where I'm doing so many vehicles now. All these little things are starting to really frustrate me. I don't want to be like having to. I don't know. I don't like something like this. Like you said, like lift it up a little bit. You can peel all that stuff off of it, even for body work and stuff like that. It's just so much easier. I thought about buying. I hate buying things that I don't think I'll use it that like a ton for a bunch of stuff, but like I know those quick jacks, I can buy those used for like $1,100, and they only lift like 24 inches. So what would that be? Probably up here. So it'd be good for this kind of stuff probably, but then I suppose it would still be better than trying to jack it up and put it on jack stands and stuff, I guess. I don't know. But for like that single post that was on Marketplace there was only like $1,600, and I kind of wish I would have just ripped out right away and grabbed it, because they don't come up like very often for that price. And of course it was a Chinese one, but whatever, it was a off-brand knockoff, whatever. But I mean, for $1,600, and it was a single post, and it would lift full height, and it wouldn't get in the way of my floor space, generally speaking, which would be the biggest thing. They do make a version of that that's portable. I think it's made by Ideal Mobile Lift. What I should do is approach those guys and see if I could get a sponsorship with them or something, because that would be like the best case scenario. A buddy of mine has one of them, and he said it actually works really good. He used to work for GM, and he's like, I would never go back to a 2-post, especially like for a hobby type garage or whatever. So pull you guys forward here. My Dodge Ram is a diesel. It keeps turning off when I'm driving. Oh my God, I found you. I've been, what? Oh, sorry. Looking for you days on end. I'm guessing you finished your son's truck. Yeah, it's the last video there, man. Go check it out, Peter. Were you here in the lives before? Aren't you subscribed to the channel then? How come you're not subscribed? I was on every day for like a couple weeks there doing lives, and then I just got super busy the last couple weeks here, so been kind of not as much here lately. So man, this thing barely sat outside and it's just covered in ants. I'm not sure what's with the ants this year, but they're just absolutely annihilating my yard, and they're getting in my house, which has never happened before. It's getting really old. To start getting some ant traps outside or something, I guess. Looking for me in days on end, yeah. Yeah, so we got it running and driving and stuff there. It was a kind of an ordeal there, but not too bad. Keeps turning off while you're driving there, Lark. I don't know. Could be, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe your injection pump's acting up. Have you like done maintenance to it? Has it got fresh fuel filters, all that kind of stuff? What year is it? I don't do a bunch of diesel stuff. I drive a diesel for my daily, but I don't do any diesels on my channel. I did have a V10 Dodge on here last year, I think. I might have locked up that video because it didn't do that amazing, but yeah. All right, one more. Let's keep going here. Go to the front here, I guess. Actually, I think I should probably go this way. I do like the Berlinetta front ends better, though, I will say. Nice Camaro. Had a 77 many years ago. Nice. Yeah, I had, like I said, I don't I've had quite a few. I shouldn't say I haven't, but I've had quite a few second gens, but I've never had a Berlinetta like that. So yeah, whatever. Another day, another project. You know, you guys know how she goes. So I don't know where this car originally came from, but I see it's got. It's like I wonder what happened here. I don't know. Interesting. It looks like it's all original hood and stuff like that. It almost, like I said, it looked like they obviously put Bondo in here because it was cracked. And so they tried to fix that. So they must have done that the last time it got painted. I wonder if it got painted for, I'm kind of wondering if it got painted, maybe like it got in like a little bit of a nose accident and they used the money and just finished painting it at the same time. I'm thinking. All right. What we got here? So if you guys are new here, make sure you guys like and subscribe and do all the things. Help me out with the channel there. Anything that you guys do definitely helps me grow the channel and stuff. So appreciate all the support. It's been having some pretty decent videos. I know when they're not going to be as good of videos, like the hail video, that was an extra, so whatever. My son's video, I was like, I wasn't sure. I thought it might do okay, but it's not done amazing. But I kind of can usually tell. People like certain things. Like if I do a square body video, I can kind of tell like they want to see like a certain thing. Like they like that paint and body video because you guys all like that because it was something almost like you shouldn't do it, like painting it in your driveway and spray painting it and all that stuff. People like to see unusual things like that. So yeah, I do what I can do, man. Getting pinstriping off sucks, guys. Wow, this is annoying. I did not think this would be this time consuming. If you leave it, then you're going to see it when you paint it, which is, I guess, depends how much of a perfectionist you are. I know there's already going to be imperfections, so whether or not you would notice that is another story, but. And then if you go too hard with it, then it scratches up the freaking fiberglass. Peter, did you subscribe yet or what? Go check out the last video. Drop the video on the square body truck there. I never showed much about it after the last few days there. But yeah, he came over and helped me with it. Helped me finish up the last of it there. It does need a few things there. We kind of ran into a few surprises there yet, but probably take it to his house and then he can kind of tinker with it or whatever when he's got some free time here and there. Come on. Yes, Peter, you always say you subscribe. There's a lot of Bondo in that. Huh. Yeah, it looked like this nose maybe got tweaked at one point there, maybe like a front end collision or something like that. Not too sure, but there we go. Yeah. It seems like it's even harder to get it off on plastic because you can't really, or on the fiberglass, because you can't really put any down pressure. I can already tell just looking at this front end, no matter what I do here, it's not going to be perfect. Like there's so many like cracks and imperfections. It really needs a nose cone here, but same thing. Nose cone probably costs $1,000 for these things if you just wanted the nose cone shell, like a new one, and it probably doesn't fit worth a crap and everything else. So you know what? They used it last time and it's gonna get used again. So yeah, it's hard to get it to like not dig into the, it's hard to get it to not dig into, oh, there we go. Oh, got a rip there. Oh, there we go. Hey, for once something went smooth today. Yeah, it wants to dig into the fiberglass when you use this. Like I said, I'm sure there's probably a better way that the professionals do this other than using like a razor blade, but if there is, I don't know that way. I know like people say they use those erasers or whatever, what are they called? You put them, pretty sure you put them on a drill. They're like just a buffing eraser thing. Anybody here ever use one of those? It's like a, man. Oop. A lot of work there. I got the ADZ28 complete shell and ready for paint. Nice. It sounds like, John, it sounds like you like more of like high-end cars, and I kind of build like more of like average weekend warrior type cars, if that sort of makes sense. There's nothing wrong with building really nice cars. I got no problems with that whatsoever, but it just, somebody was asking me about that not very long ago here, and I was like, you know what, guys, like, even if I had endless money, I don't think I would do things a whole bunch differently, to be honest. I might spend a little bit more money on a nicer rough car, but maybe it would be something like more of a, like, it would still be cheap, if that makes sense, but it would probably be like I mean, if I could find cars like this for the price I paid for it, I would keep on doing it. But I just think it's, I don't know, it's why people relate to my channel, I think, is because they're like, oh, you're just using average guy stuff here or whatever, and average guy's tools, and it's not perfect, and you're kind of doing it like, hey, we think we could do this too. So I don't know, just like I said, it's, I mean, I could mix up how I do things, and I could try different things. I mean, I could spend more money and try doing different things, but it's just not, it's not what people like to really see these days. I don't think, just in general, it's not even just my audience. I think it's just like, for the most part, people, just, what's going on, man? Long time no see. Busy day. It is a busy day. We rolling here today, boys. Not really. we're doing all the annoying little things that are kind of like things I don't want to do, but like Buddy earlier said, if I had a hoist, this would be a lot easier. I'd be, instead of leaning over hurting my back, I'd be standing up, or at least at eye level here doing this. But beggars can't be choosers, guys. Need more people to watch my videos. I thought about talking to a couple companies. I know there's some companies out there that will do promotional type stuff, and there is a lift company out there, but I don't really want to do it in this garage, honestly, unless it was one of the single posts. Like I said, that Ideal Mobile one, I think that would be a good one. Or some of the, I would rather not have to put it into the concrete, because then I don't have to drill holes and worry about that, and make it mobile, and I can push it to the side when I'm not using it. But I don't know. I could clean up a ton of floor space here if I had just a little bit of a storage shed. What are you doing there, brother? What's up, Chris? I'm getting this thing ready for paint. Just, it's I don't know if you've seen this one yet, just, but it's a '79 Camaro Berlinetta. Just picked up. I literally just got this thing home in the last week here or whatever. So I haven't really had a chance to work on it. This is the first day I've really pulled it in and started doing anything. But I was like, you know what? I know I'm gonna paint it. I already bought paint for it, so I'm gonna do paint on this one or whatever, make it look at least improved, and fix a bunch of the little piddly things, and then send it up the road. So this is actually a car that I suppose if I was infinitely wealthy, I would probably just keep it. But I don't have a space to keep it, and I don't want to make it nice and then sit outside and all that stuff. And money can be used for other projects on the channel, so. All right, what do we got going on here? Oh, lots of people here. Whew. Wes, hey there. How's it going, Chris? I really like that. Let me know when it's done. Might be interested. That's funny you said that, because that's what Busted was just in here saying. He's like, man, he's like, I'm interested in that thing. I was like, huh. Like, you're supposed to be a Mopar guy there, Busted. John, I paid $13K for my 67 20 years ago, and $4K for the 80 10 years ago. Not too bad. That's in the ballpark of what they still kind of sell for. It depends on the condition, though. All right, enough of that guy. Sir, I'm really interested in that one. Are you actually? I don't know if you want me to touch it. You do way nicer work than I do. Both rust free except for the floor and the 80 Z28. This monster takes huge space in your garage. Yes, it does. It does, for sure. I don't really have room to keep anything. I mean, if I really was dying to keep them two inside, I could, but I think, I don't know. I need to clear up some floor space here. It's kind of driving me crazy. So I found a little, it's almost like a mini sea can, and I might try to pick that thing up. Only reason I didn't pick it up in the last couple of weeks here was because I didn't have a way to load it. I usually have some sort of machine at my house, like a skid steer or tractor or something, and I haven't had anything. So that was the reason. But yeah, it definitely takes up a ton of space. So we'll see how it goes here. I said I have never painted a car black before. I mean, not really, not at least one that I actually want to actually kind of make look half decent. And so, I mean, I could completely ruin the paint. I mean, it's not gonna look any worse than it does, but I'm saying, like, I know that there's people that can probably paint black a lot better than me, and everybody says black's the hardest to paint. So I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous, but there's no way for me to really, like, I can't change the color on this thing because it's going to be an ordeal. Like, then now the interior is black and the door jambs are black and the trunk is black, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to accept it. I'm going to do it black, and if it doesn't, I mean, it's still going to look way better than it does. This car is like terrible paint-wise, but the body is good. So, yeah, it needs just a bunch of piddly little things, but yeah, I'm going to paint it black just. That's the plan anyways. See how it goes, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, I've never painted a car black. It does have some stuff, like I don't know if you can see that, but I'm sure you guys can see that. So it looks like maybe at some point, I don't know why it would have been like this otherwise, but maybe like usually what happens if somebody rear ends like a truck or something and they went underneath it, because it's not broken here. It didn't look like they patched it here, but it looks like it hit here. You can actually see there's like a little bit of a wrinkle in it. And so I'm assuming when they painted it, that's when all of this stuff got fixed. And so it looks like they just put Bondo in it, which is what I'm going to do again, because I'm not spending money for a nose cone for this thing. So it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, obviously when they painted this car, it's probably 20 or 25 years ago already, I'm assuming. And obviously it wasn't a problem to do it that way back then. So we're going to do it again, and maybe another 25 years, it'll be fine. So we'll see how it goes, I guess. But I'll pull everything out. I will. I'm not going to, because it actually has some really nice chrome and stuff around the headlights and all these lights and everything like that. So I'll pull all that stuff out. Make sure I don't get paint all over that stuff. So, but yeah. What else we got here? 25 years ago, yeah. And you can tell because I didn't really notice that until now, but there's paint like there's actually like a little bit of paint on the chrome and trim in the back, and a little bit of paint like on some of the lights and stuff like that, like the side marker lights. So that means they never took it out. They just taped it, so it's probably like a Mako type paint job or something. Or maybe they even painted themselves. I don't know. It doesn't look like it though, because they put the pinstripe all back on it. You're going to smooth the surface. Yes. That's the plan. That is the plan. So I'm just trying to get all this pinstriping off. It's tedious work, and it's starting to get hot, and so that's going to be a potential problem for me here. It's for painting, you want it to be like perfect. It's not too humid, not too hot, whatever. So I'll probably inflate the booth to do this one and actually care about it here. So I don't know. Yeah, see how it goes, I guess. But whatever, man. Like I said, I can only do what I can do here. But I started with this car because I actually have a few other vehicles on the back burner now. But I started with this one because it runs, drives. They put new brakes on it. It's got new brake lines. Well, I mean, while they owned it, it had. What else did they do to it there? They put new brakes, master cylinder, booster, brakes all the way around. It's got factory AC. That's the compressor's not C, so really, I think you put a belt on it, unless a hose is leaking or something like that. But I think you put a belt on it, might even work. I don't know. Might need a little top off possibly, but what else we got there? I don't know. It's like I said, it needs So there's a rod that goes from the key down to the actual switch at the bottom. That must have been broken or lost or whatever one time, and so they've just been starting it with like a screwdriver essentially, so that's a problem. I am a one-man show. It's unfortunately, I mean, it would make the videos more interesting if I could get big enough to get more people. Like if I could hire somebody to work with me or whatever, I think that would make it more interesting, but I'd have to have a shop to do that. Problem is around here, I don't even have buddies or anything that could jump in and help me once in a while because I don't know anybody here. We've lived here for like 3 years and I don't know anybody. It's kind of one of those things. It's just, we're so busy all the time, it's hard to meet people. So, and not everybody's car people, and or maybe like my son, for example, he doesn't like to cut the corners and stuff like I do, but he doesn't really realize like that's kind of like what my content is, right? And so he has a hard time like wrapping his head around like, hey, let's reuse this part or let's buy a used part or whatever. So it really probably wouldn't be the greatest fit there either, even if I had him, for example. So it's a very unique type of person. It's kind of like a Cletus type situation where you have to accept like, we're going to do things a little bit ghetto here and you're going to have to just kind of get used to it. But so it would take a certain type of person definitely to want to work on a channel with me like that. So well, I think that might be all the actual pinstriping. That would be a miracle here. Johnny Rocket. Does that have a Holley fuel-injected LS swap too? It does not. It is the stock 305 small block Chevy Power. Chevy Power, guys. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like something's missing on the front of it here. I don't know what's supposed to be there. Anybody know? Anybody know what's supposed to be in this little slot in the front here? Yep, she's the 305. 305 power. 120 horsepower. My cars aren't high end, just nice drivers. The 67, I drive it like I stole it. Nice. It's all good, man. It's all good. Everybody's got their own preference. Some people like things super, super nice and high end and perfect and whatever, and some people like middle of the road or can accept middle of the road. I mean, honestly, I'm sure if every single person in the world could afford $100,000 paint job car and, you know, $100,000 motor and whatever, like, I'm sure everybody would do it, but it's just not relatable, right? Yeah, well, that's good then. Oh, what else we got here? That is funny though. That's funny that they taped up all this stuff. I mean, unless they painted it themselves, but man, that would be a lot of work to put all that pinstriping back on for an amateur. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I suppose I could, but I actually have a bunch of pinstriping, but I don't really care for pinstriping. Overall though, pretty decent. It's not too bad here. I'm hoping I can just put a belt on the AC and that'll be working too. I'll have to try. Seems like the compressor is okay, so there's that. She's actually ran our kid to the doctor, so they're just going for an allergy doctor appointment and all that fun stuff. Wouldn't bother owning a trailer queen. Nice. Should be a small grill like the one on the top. That's what I'm thinking too there. I feel like you're right there, Peter. She just goes for regular checkups. She had like that's a long story, but she used to have like major peanut allergies and all that kind of stuff, and just she's been desensitized to it, but she has to go. She goes for like to keep on top of it. She goes and gets like it just like drops now, and they have to do it in the doctor's office in case she ever had some sort of reaction or whatever, so the doctors won't give it to her otherwise. So yeah, just went to the doctor to do all the mom things, you know, how she goes. All right, cool. So there's that, I guess. Whew. Let's see. What's Johnny up to today? I haven't seen Johnny in a little bit here again. He's been avoiding me. Johnny, have you been avoiding me? All right, get some more cleaned up here. Trying to drag it over the garage and house and all that stuff. What's everybody else up to today? A lot of you guys in here today. Comes and goes. I think when I'm not on as much, then when I come back on, then lots of people jump in. A lot of stuff in the garage. Hey, what's it to you? You writing a book? What do you mean? Lots of stuff in the garage. What's that supposed to mean? What are you accusing me of here? But yes, too much. I will say, if I ever tell people any advice on like garages and things like that, it's like floor space is life. If you don't have floor space, it sucks. Like, really sucks. I hate having no floor space. Drives me crazy. Oh. Oh. Went for a stress test at 7:30 this morning and they canceled it. Was not happy. Said they called and left a message and it was BS. What's up, Mark? Are all of them necessary? What, all the junk I have in here? It's not even all my stuff. It's like I have a pallet of concrete from stuff we were doing outside that we didn't want to leave outside because we don't have a place to keep it. I've got like the engine hoist out that just takes up floor space, but where else do you put it? I don't have any other garage space to put it in. I don't know, there's just like tires and, you know, the air compressor, and I have stuff for the shop that I'm building there, like floor hose, like in-floor heat hose. I have like spare MSD 6014 boxes, B&M shifters. What else do I got in here? Welders. There's 2 engines sitting in here right now. It's just I don't have any more space. It's just frustrating, kind of. I hate tripping over things. We bring our e-bikes in here. The kids bring their scooters in here. It's just, I really need to, like, for the bikes and the scooters and stuff, like almost build like an overhang or something like that with a plug-in out there that they can just get charged in. I'm auto body experienced for 30 years. I can make that car like the showroom. I believe you. It won't work for me, but how are you managing single-handedly? I don't know. It's a lot of work. A lot of work. And you got to remember, I got to do these quick. Like, you know, like I'm putting out a video, and which I even think is almost like a lot these days still. I was putting out a video every week for a long time there. And if you guys were here from the early days, I literally put out a week. I put a video out a week for like probably over a year straight. And then it just wasn't, I didn't feel like happy with how the content was and stuff. So I backed off finally in the last like couple months here. So I put out like, I'm trying to do a video every 2 weeks. I'm just not like, I'm not pressuring it, but I'm trying to get a video out every 2 weeks. So to build a car like this in a couple weeks, it is very difficult. Yeah, very difficult. So makes it, yeah, this car is pretty straight though. So like I said, for me personally to do a car like this is going to be a way easier car than most because it's like pretty straight. I mean, it's still not going to be perfect. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's not that type of car, but it's going to be way better than a lot of them that I start with, at least paint-wise, body-wise and stuff. It's actually funny. Like, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. I can see this. This is funny. I didn't notice this, but like, so obviously at some point this car was painted, I told you guys. And I don't know if you guys can really see that. See where my finger is here? You can see where they had taped this chrome trim off here and they oversprayed onto that. So there's overspray on that chrome trim here, on the trim around the windshield here, the back window glass. Yeah, all that. I don't know. It's not that long because I pulled my 3rd gen Camaro out and it's not any longer than that. It doesn't seem like, at least in the garage here anyway. So, but I mean, it's compared to a lot of the ones that I buy, it starts, runs, drives. Like I said, it's got factory cruise, power steering, air conditioning, disc front brakes, um, tilt steering. Yeah, it really, other on the interior, other than the dash having a few cracks there, which I'm not going to care about, um, it really just needs like the driver's seat there, which I should take a picture of it because I found one on eBay. Oh, and the center console's all mangled in it too. So I usually remove all the chrome. Yeah, it makes sense. I don't, mostly just because I don't really honestly normally have cars like this that have chrome anyways, but I don't normally remove the chrome in the aspect of its it's time, right? So it just takes that much more time to do it. So that's, yeah. Like I said, try to get a video out every couple of weeks, and people like to see front to back videos on these cars. They don't, generally speaking, if I do, it works once in a while, but very rarely that you guys want to see more than like one video on a car like this. So then it's like, that means that I have to do mechanical, paint, body, everything in one video, and you gotta think I put that out in 2 weeks. Like that's a lot. 25 years old. That's how old you are, or what are you talking about? Or the car? Took me 5 days to pull the engine, transmission, put a new engine, overdrive, tanks, change rear gears. Nice. Oh, the car's a 79, so it's like almost 50 years old. If you can do one panel at a time, it can be done. Yeah. And I say this all the time. I feel like I could probably do a, if you want to call it like a little bit nicer paint job. Like, I'm pretty fortunate that I have some decent tools and stuff to work with, but I feel like other than this car, and this is kind of going to be a little trickery because I've never sprayed black before, like out of a real, I guess, professional kind of way to do it here. So it'll be interesting to kind of see if I can do it, because everybody says black's the hardest color to paint. So, and I'm using single stage. That's how I do all my cars, generally speaking. I have painted a couple with base clear, but I haven't had great success with that. So I think now that I've learned a lot, I probably could, but it scares me to try something that potentially could be a problem. Because then if you do it and it doesn't work, then you're either like having to live with it, or else you're gonna have to redo it, and that's just not what I want to do. So I know that base clear always works good for me, or it's not base clear, sorry, single stage. So that's what I do. Don't go for double work, Kevin. That would cost you more. Yes, 50 years old. So yeah, so I mean, it's a pretty old car, right? So it is pretty decent shape. This one's, most of the time they got so many dings and dents and rust and everything else in them, but this car seems very, very straight compared to most of them. So, and you always find out when you start sanding how bad they actually are. But black's the hardest thing to prep for and easiest thing to see while painting. Easiest thing to see as far as like what, imperfections? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, let's be honest here, guys. Look at this car now. If I spray it and it's a uniform color, it's already going to look better. If it's got orange peel or fish eyes or whatever in it, you know, whatever. I'm never going to know unless I try, so I got to give her the beans. The dents in, usually when I do cars, it's like tons of dents in them. Trucks are the worst because they get used for trucks, of course. 204 204R overdrive transmission, John. It'd be a 200R4 actually, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Reflection to keep it wet while painting. Oh, I see what you're saying. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. So it is not really what I want. I mean, if it would have been my preference, I would have probably chose a different color, but like I said, the door jambs are already black on it. It's so what do? It's like a lot of people don't care. Like I see people do that all the time where they'll paint a car and the interior will be a different color. And I'm okay with the interior being a different color. Like I could do something, for example, that does a lot of hiding on cars, would be like a white. Like white hides tons of imperfections. And so that would kind of be like the logical color to paint this car. But then with doing that, you're still going to have the door jambs and stuff. And so, yeah, you can paint them and you can, but it's just, I don't know. It's just one more step of the process that it's like, then you got to start messing around and taking all these door plates off. And most people, what I see, if they're going to do the door sills and stuff and color change it, then they'll tape around like the frame and then kind of do it that way. But I don't know. I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I mean, I should have probably started it on a car that I didn't really care about, because this one I'm actually into, and I do want it to look good, because this is probably the most straight car I've ever had on this channel so far. So I would like to do it, but like I said, I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't know. Let's get to learning, I guess. What are you gonna do? The only way to learn is sometimes to try, right? So sometimes you got to do what you got to do. All right, what do we got going on here? Want to hear something crazy? Just folded your hood in half, never paid for it or even apologized. Oh, man. I like that real dark cherry, almost looks black. I do like that color too, actually. It would look fancy with two different colors. Black will show dings and dents and waves. You have to make it perfect first. Huh. Yeah, you're probably right. That's what everybody says. But I don't think it really, I don't know. What was the original color before? I'm assuming, I don't know what the factory, I'm sure it was black, because I mean, it's all the original paint and the door jambs and everything, so probably was black. And then I think they painted it black again. I mean, I don't know. I guess time will tell. We'll find out here. Put a tint strip on that baby. What's a tint strip there, Voyage? I will say though, I said that earlier in the chat. Like, what? I can't believe it's made it like almost 50 years and not had tinted side or back windows on it. I would tint it just for aesthetic things, like, and I might actually. Yeah, we'll see how many views this video gets. But tell me the simple steps to repaint a rear view mirror. Narrow it down. Dude, I have no idea. I wouldn't be taking advice from me. I have to get back to work. But I think black will look sweet. Heard online, stage 1 black with clear on top. Finishes pretty nice. Is that you, Stefan? I haven't seen you on my channel before, if it is. Yeah. It's already got orange stripe on the fender. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Haven't seen you on my channel before. Anyways, got all the pinstripe off this thing, so that's huge. Hang a mirror on wire and paint it only that way. I am going to paint this, but I don't know if I should be giving you advice. Every time I paint something, I learn something there, Voyage. You're talking just like the actual mirror itself? Just, yeah, exactly. Just take it on a piece of wire, hang it. Usually you would use you can use like DuPont or something like that, or even like, if it's just a mirror, you can use Rust-Oleum or something like that. It doesn't really matter if it's just a rear view mirror. Wow. That's funny. Have a good day, man. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, figured, man, I got lucky today. It was actually like a decent temperature. So if you guys have been following the channel for a long time, you've probably seen a couple of these cars that are in the background there. My 85 Camaro. Buddy from Canada there that's in the chat here, he's seen that car forever. It was a very, very well-known car for a lot of years there. It's a lot faster now than it was back then. 63 Pontiac Le Mans Tempest, and then I have a Bel Air, and then I have a 56 Bel Air, and then also another car that you guys haven't seen yet. I actually have a couple more vehicles out there. There's a square body, a couple things like that. So, but yeah, always trying to mix it up. You have an iPhone 17. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I would do if you were doing. I would use probably just something like off-the-shelf paint there, Voyage, like hang it from a piece of wire, and then just use like rattle can paint or whatever. Of course, tape it up so you're not getting it on the mirror glass itself. But yeah, probably just get DuPont or something like that paint. Chevy guy, boo. Why does everybody say I'm a Chevy guy? Just because I have Chevy? Folded a while ago. I haven't been on a live. Always bad timing. Checked out a bunch of videos. Good stuff. Thanks, man. Berlin at a Camaro. Road really comfortable. No power, though. I agree. Tommy, why are you saying I'm a Chevy guy? Just because that's all you see right now? Go back and look at my channel. I've done Fords, AMCs, Dodge. I've had some V10 Dodge stuff on my channel. I've had Cummins. What else have I done here? I don't know. I've had Duramax stuff. Only one can assume. Yes, I do everything. I was talking about this earlier in the feed. Like it's just kind of what I end up with. Like this car I literally just ended up with because I went to look at a Bobcat so I could finish up my pad for my concrete and do some other yard stuff I needed to finish up. It's kind of a long story, but we had a storm and I was trying to clean up. So I went to buy a Bobcat, and then 5 Bobcats later, there was 5 lying people selling Bobcats. And so I was like, well, I don't want to go home with an empty trailer. So I just quickly looked around and I found this. And so that's how I ended up with it. I actually literally didn't go to pick this thing up. It was kind of just happened. And then the same week, actually, I went to Las Vegas to pick up another car, thinking it was rust-free, and it actually came from Illinois, but I bought it anyways. The Berlinetta Camaro, yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so anyways, that's what I've been kind of chewing away at here or whatever anyways, so I don't know. I mean, it'll be a uniform color black. We'll see how it goes here. Like I said, this PPS 3M, that 3M PPS spray system that I got there, it works unreal. I haven't seen a paint that didn't come out laying out like glass yet, but again, it's all dependent on the body work and stuff. So, but you also have to remember, when I sell these cars, it's coming in at such an affordable price point. So if it looks like really decent and is uniform and everything, it runs and drives and all that stuff, I mean, it's making it like for the average guy, like, you know, under 10 grand, people are going to buy, right? How much for the 64 Pontiac? It's a 63 there, Salvador. It's kind of been waiting to get on my channel, mostly because I wanted to really break it down, and I'm missing some parts, so I tried to find a parts car for it, which I did. And then it's a place where I go all the time, and then, of course, I just haven't been back there, so I think the guy sold it. But he has a 70 Mercury Cougar convertible with the 351 air conditioning, all original. I don't really care for convertible cars, just not into it. You guys saw I had that 95 Camaro that we bought on a fly and drive. It was probably, man, that might have even been 2 years ago now. I don't even remember anymore. No, it was a year ago, but just over a year ago, because we daily drove it all last summer. But yeah, I don't really care for them. I don't even really like how they look. It's just not my thing. The tops never really seal. It's got to be inside, and it's just, then you have to deal with replacing the top regularly and on and on and on. So just rather not do that. But yeah, one of those things, I guess. What else we got on the go here, guys? I don't even know, man. Our yard was a disaster. We had a massive hailstorm roll through here, and it took us the last 2 weeks of every day just working on it to get it all cleaned up. Mostly my wife, I'll say. She's been a trooper and got all that stuff done, so that was good. But yeah, man, holy cow, my just looking at this garage, I'm just like, even like all this stuff that I have, because I don't use a lot of this stuff every single day. Like I have a whole bunch of like just like sprays and things like that, you know, like whatever, like paint and I don't know. Oh, what do we got here? Only one can assume. Hard tops all the way. I agree, man. It's just, like I said, each to their own or whatever, but it's just not my cup of tea. And I also like, again, for the cars that I build on the channel or whatever, like if I have to start replacing like, you know, tops for convertibles and stuff, and then you know how that is, everything, floors are going to be gone. It would just be a problem. So I don't really like them anyway, so then why would I buy them and then compound the problems of like the floors and having to replace expensive tops and chase all that stuff down. And I like to personally, when I'm doing these cars, I like to, as much as possible, get more of like mainstream cars like this, for example. If I needed like headlights, signal lights, marker lights, tail lights, all this kind of stuff, I could get that on like Amazon or eBay or something like that. Whereas if you start getting like off-brand stuff, like when I had that AMC Matador there, that thing was a nightmare to find parts for. Now they're out there, but like I picked that car up in Arizona, brought it home, and it was had a broken back window. And I was like, oh, this would be easy to find, like whatever, right? You know, figured they would have made a million of them. Well, they didn't. They actually hardly made any of them. And so then I had to go all the way back to Arizona, almost the same spot that I bought it from, to find a rear glass for it. I do like T-tops as well. Lots of extra weight too. That is true. That is true. Convertibles are always way heavier, which is funny to think that, but it's true because the frame's always way heavier. So, but yeah, I don't know. So it just kind of, I work within my comfort level too. And I guess that's partially how I end up with like a lot of like, when you say I'm a Chevy guy, I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not a Chevy guy because I'm just most comfortable with them. But I don't buy them specifically because they're Chevys. It's like a lot of times I'll have like small block parts laying around or something like that. So then it just, remember guys, budget channel. So I buy cars, I have, you know, parts laying around for them ready. So if I have to start buying things like, and I mean, or if I can save money, for example, like when I built that K10 there, I had a set of doors laying around for it already. I had some of the body stuff ready for it. Even just like getting seals and stuff for it, you know, that was like super cheap on Amazon or whatever. So all that stuff just made it was like a lot. It was just a lot. Saves a lot of money, I guess, right? So just doing it on a budget like that, that just makes it for me a lot. Just makes a lot more sense. So it's not that I'm a Chevy guy. I would love to do some Mopar stuff. I don't really like Ford stuff as much because it always seems to be. It's just there's so many changes in them. But I did that Ford Gran Torino, which was fine. I had tons of people wanting me to do Fords, and then I did that Gran Torino video, and that was probably one of my worst videos. So then it's like doesn't really make me want to go back to, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't do videos that don't do well on my channel, so I wouldn't do it. Everybody's like, oh, if you buy this and you get it running, we'll watch it. And then it was like, I think that video only had like 15,000 views or something. So how much do you think that Camaro was worth? Depends. Once it's painted and stuff, how I do it, probably do a few things to it. I don't know, probably 65, 7,500, something like that. My friend got stuck in the rain in his 59 Caddy and it wouldn't work. That actually happened to us, as a matter of fact. We were in Florida driving that convertible back, and we just got on the highway and it started getting like just storming, and we barely got the top up in time. Good thing it worked there, but yeah. But it had a new top on and it still didn't seal. So yeah, just like I said, it's just for me personally, it's not my thing. I don't knock anybody that wants to drive a convertible. If you have a garage and you don't work on them and you're just buying it and whatever, I guess whatever. But apparently somebody's on the, my son must be messing around on the, must be messing around on the keyboard there. Well guys, I've been on here long enough. I should probably jump off and actually do some more stuff here today. So I gotta do a little more videoing here and whatnot, but been on long enough. I should probably actually get at it. My battery's gonna actually die on this phone by the looks of it here anyway. So thanks for everybody that stopped by here again. Like I said, I'll jump on when I got more time again as things progress on this thing. I am waiting on some parts or whatever. I gotta fix the exhaust and the shifter cable and I don't know about the steering, the ignition switch linkage thing there. That's a whole another thing there, but yeah. Thanks for stopping by again there, Neo. I haven't seen you in a little bit either. It's cool when you guys all stopped by and saw some, I know, get some work done. That's right. So Anyways, I got all that stuff off of it, so at least all the pinstripe off of it that I could see anyways. So go finish up some other stuff here. Got to take some more trimming and stuff off of it, and then we'll see from there, I guess. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Like I said, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe and check out all the other videos, watch through all that stuff or whatever there. If you guys want to get a membership, that's cool too. If you don't, that's fine. Just watch the videos and it all helps. So I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for stopping by.